Well, we're here again. Yesterday was a long day. I don't think it's going to be that way today, but once we get on a topic on a roll or people doing things or going, I went away from the camera for a while because I went back over to Sarnia and over the Blue Water Bridge during the construction. As you can see, there's all kinds of construction here, and so the coming and going. All the traffic, both directions are on the north bridge, south bridge is completely closed off. So that was a mess, but went over and came back again the second time in a row to purchase the DJI Neo bundle, which I did. I thought that my friend Captain Joe wanted that, but he didn't. He changed his mind and said that he didn't want it with that controller that came with it. So I passed it on to AZ Drone Dude out in Arizona, and he's going to give it to his son. So actually, I sent AZ two of them. He bought the first one, and then he bought the second one. Yeah, I pretty much did do fairly well, especially the second trip, because the first trip I drove all the way through Sarnia, all the stoplights, and I figured out how to. I didn't figure out. I surmised with some guidance from some people on the ground there how to skirt that and get back on the 401, which is the freeway goes to the bridge. So Brenda, how are you doing this morning? Good morning to you. How's the back thing going? I was wondering. I know that you went to the chiropractor a couple of times, I think. Just not sure. You got to go out now? Excuse me, Mia decided she wants to go out now. I'll be right back. Hey, Joe.
Hey, what's up?
Well, just kind of fed Mia, and then after I started up, she decided, oh, I want to go out. Okay. You know how that goes with our pupper dogs.
Yeah, I do.
I don't know what I'd do without
I know what I would do with them.
them. How's that storm doing? Is that coming through or what?
Well, I'll just put it to you this way. We're gonna have a category two probably go right over me.
Wow.
It's shifting. I knew it. I saw it yesterday shifting, but they kept saying it was gonna go. It wasn't shifting, and
That
the weather meteorologists here kept saying they don't understand why they keep giving us the same track. It's shifting like that.
so
You know, they're saying the same thing. And all of a sudden, the 4 o'clock comes out and it says, same track, it's not doing anything. It just came out a minute ago and said, oh, it's shifting back towards New Orleans. So it's a possibility it's going to be, like I said, right over me.
wow.
And it's supposed to be a category two sometime today, but it isn't strengthening. That's the good news. They got some wind shear coming in from the west.
So will
And
that
if the
be,
wind shear comes in, that'll help us because what it's doing, the wind shear is actually pushing it to us because the front's moving. It got a cold front coming through, it's getting sucked into. But the wind shear will not let it strengthen.
are you
is
expecting
good.
any flooding?
Oh, I've got to move my car. I definitely have to move my car because we'll flood in the back. My daughter, they're freaking out because their street floods. I said, just your cars are up because their driveway goes up.
Okay,
I said, just get all the cars up top and make sure they're pointing towards the house. That way you
right.
don't have the engines in the water. And well, you think we ought to go somewhere? I said, you don't have any money to go anywhere. And you're fine. What about the trees in the neighborhood? I said, shut up. Just shut up.
Hey,
I
David.
said, you got less problems than me over here.
Shut up, Joe.
Thank you so much. I love you too. You know,
Somebody has to.
I'm just glad they got a big pond between us.
If I
So
get my
I'm
passport done, I could be closer.
Oh Lord, when you come visit, I'm going to visit.
Don't worry. Donald Trump's going to win. He's going to build a wall.
Gonna build. No, Camilla's going to build a bridge.
Oh, God. That's the last thing you want.
That's what Biden said. They were building a bridge. They said they were building a bridge from like freaking Los Angeles to China or something.
Going to be honest, the amount of bridges that have collapsed lately.
Yeah, we've had several big bridges collapse, haven't we?
That's because everything's old and all the money goes to the politicians.
Yeah.
My plans are to go to Florida, kick Justin in the nuts. And
Well, you know,
But
when I was up on that bridge yesterday, coming back across the bridge, because it was just at a slow roll coming up over the bridge because it's only single lane for trucks and cars, and it's like, oh my God, I'm thinking, don't give out now, don't give out now.
was it rocking?
No, but it was. There's two spans. The one span was built in the late 40s and 50s. And the other span is the one they're working on. It's the one that's the brand new bridge they did in 1970s and 80s.
Let me show you a bridge.
Yeah, I'm trying to find a video from yesterday I showed.
Jason is here. He's headed for work, I take it.
How did you know?
Virginia
Morning,
Beach.
Paul. Hey, Laura. Joe. Oh, let me fix that. There you go.
Well, sir.
I'm gonna go play football if Jason can't.
All right, let me turn around. I'll go back home. I'll go back home, Laura.
Yeah, watch you do a
Don't
handbrake.
tempt me.
Yeah. Watch you do a handbrake turn now and head home.
It's going to do a speed spin around.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
handbrake
right.
spin.
I probably would, but we've got the morning staff meeting today, so I could, yeah.
Yeah, I could
Well,
just
that's
see
the nice thing about my job, you know. I could telework with the exception of the morning staff meeting, and even then, I could just do a Zoom call into work also.
Yeah.
So,
Jason, what I'm about to
Yes, sir.
show, you might want to look away if you're going to go across any bridges.
oh,
You can't look, he's driving.
Can you see the BBC website?
Yeah.
yeah. I can't read nothing. Everything's tiny, so you got to blow it up for me.
Right. Let me enlarge it. Just driving
Watch this
along,
guy on a
my
motorbike.
own business, and bye.
Whoa. Interesting. You know what's crazy? There's a company back in 1997, 1998, and I forgot what it was called. It was like XSYS was the stock ticker symbol for it. And this company, they would retrofit bridge columns with carbon fiber to make it stronger.
Well, that's the smart thing to do. But then, you know, we've learned a lot since the days when they built most of all these bridges.
Yeah, don't build bridges.
Yeah, don't do it on the cheap.
I'm going to show you one you need to really look at. I'll show you what it looks like now. That's the Huey Long Bridge. And if you look real good, this piece right here that goes up the middle of it, that's a train. So they have a train that goes up here. Big freight trains go up here between the two bridges. Now, this used to be one lane on each side. They retrofitted it and went in and rebuilt it a few years ago. So now they made it a double bridge off the same. They put more pylons in on the bottom to support it better. So they redid the whole bridge, right? You got if you look, you got a ship going under it too. Look how close the ship is from the top.
Wow.
Okay. Now wait, this bridge here, when I worked EMS, it was only a one lane on each side. If I came over with an ambulance, I had to get in the middle because nobody could pass me. I had a guy in a truck pass me one time and take my mirror off in an ambulance. And I had to get up on the curb of the bridge so he didn't take me out. So let me tell you about this bridge though. When you're on this bridge and there's a train on this bridge and you're not moving fast, you're doing this.
It's
It's
swaying.
rocking like that. It's rocking, just totally rocking. It's crazy. But in this bridge, they have the people. There's only been one person survive jumping off this bridge that's tried to commit suicide, and it was a cousin of mine.
Wow.
Yeah, a cousin of mine jumped off of it maybe about 40 years ago, and he went down. He landed sideways in the water, and there was a tug going by, and saw him going down, and he hit. And he was a big guy. When he hit, he split his side open, and instead of going underneath, air got in him, and he floated. So they reached over, grabbed him, and pulled him on board.
So they got him out of the water. Wow.
Yeah, they were able to get him out of the water, and his side was split open, and when he hit, air sucked in, and it made like a flotation device. So he was. I don't know if he was unlucky or lucky, I don't know what that is.
Well, what's he doing with himself now?
He's still alive, It's like, but that bridge was originally built in 1932.
All right. That's crazy.
That's the bridge I keep saying I'm gonna go over there and fly because it's right on the borderline of B airspace. And every time I go over there, it's raining.
Well, Jason, he's got that hurricane coming towards him.
Yeah, I got a Category 2 going to hit us tomorrow.
Oh, no kidding. Holy smokes.
And it's going to go right if it doesn't change any direction, the eye wall is going to go almost right over Johnny.
Johnny drone pilot's going to be right on the edge of the eye.
Yeah. Well, he's going to be right in the middle of it. The eye, the right quadrant, which is the worst one, is probably going to be right where I'm at. But
are you going to leave? You going to evacuate, or you going to stick it out?
Anyway, I'm good. Well, we're saying 90 mile an hour winds, maybe.
All right.
He's got to move his car, though.
Just got to move my car. And actually, they're saying not a lot of rain because of that wind shear. We're going to get a lot of rain tonight and tomorrow, but then the wind shear comes in, and it's going to take the whole backside out of it. So once it passes us, it's gone. We'll just have wind for about a day.
Joe's area is prone to be flooded.
Yeah, my apartment complex where I live, the part I live in, they've got a little ditch on the other side. Like it's actually called a bayou, a little bayou, and it's built in with so much silt and trees that have built into it and bushes, and nobody's dug it out and cleaned it. Now every time you get 2 or 3 inches of rain, it floods the parking lot. I've lost 2 automobiles here. And between my family and I with all the cars, my kids, we've lost 6.
Due to the weather?
Flooding. We lost 3 one night.
Which is due to the weather. It isn't. It is.
Yeah. 3 one night.
How much of I guess did your insurance cover replacement?
Oh, they cover full coverage.
Yeah, minus deductible, of course.
Well, I have the best part about it, I got zero comp. And they run it as
Nice.
comprehensive. So I had zero comp on when I
right.
lost my two first. And I lost them both the same time. And both of mine were paid for. You know, both of mine,
Yeah.
I had a 2001 Lincoln Continental. That's the only thing, that was the best car I ever had. This car, I put a brand new manifold on it, oversized manifold, air intake, the whole thing. This car would get me 38 miles to the gallon on the road. Now that's a Lincoln Town car, 38
Wow.
miles to the gallon on the road. And it was like a sofa on wheels. So comfortable. All kind of power, big police interceptor engine in it. And I'm laying here at 2:00 in the morning. I hear a car alarm start going off. And I grabbed my gun. My son grabbed his gun. We were going to see what happened. And I hear the rain. I said, oh, shoot. I said, I have a feeling we got a flood outside. And I had just had my knee done. So he goes out and walks outside and says, I said, take a picture. And he took a picture and brought it in and showed me. He said, you don't want to see this. It was over my dash.
Wow.
Yeah, it was up to the dash and the exterior.
And there were a lot of
We-
cars out there from the parking lot.
Oh, yeah, they probably had about 40 cars underwater. Because it's a 220 complex, apartment complex. Everybody on this side was underwater. We had a guy in a brand new Charger. Ready for this? Brand new Scatback. Just came in to the complex about a month earlier. Moved from here from somewhere up north down here. Didn't even have insurance on the car.
Oh,
Damn.
He was sick,
Why would you have?
and
a
he was
car?
in a worse place than me. It was almost up. It was over his hood.
That's
What's that,
You're
unfortunate.
allowed to, can I just ask? Are you allowed to drive a car without insurance?
Wait, say it again.
you can have collision insurance and drive a car. You don't have to have liability.
You gotta have liability.
No,
That's the
you have to
minimum.
have liability, no comprehensive. It's not required.
You don't need collision, anything else. You just have to have liability. That's the minimum. You gotta have that.
Yeah, you've got to have.
Because that's for the other guy.
Yeah.
That
I have
liability is for the
on
other guy.
mine. I don't have collision on mine. I have comp, uninsured
No.
driver, and then I have
No.
comprehensive liability and uninsured. And the uninsured driver covers if he gets in an accident. I get in an accident. If it's the other guy,
Right.
then it'll cover mine.
Yep. Put a racket.
Yeah.
Insurance.
The only way I would get full coverage is if I go buy a brand new one. Then you got to buy gap insurance because they're going to knock 2,000 when you drive off the lot. They tried to do that with one of my cars. My daughter got in an accident, and they tried to say, "Well, you didn't have gap insurance. We're only going to pay up to it was like 1,500 left over." And they were going to leave the 1,500 on it. I said, well, you lost 1,500 because I ain't paying it. I said, get it out that other driver. The other driver hit her. You know, the other driver tried to beat traffic going across the intersection, and my daughter hit her broadside, and the police ticketed the other driver because it was all illegal, everything she was doing. And the insurance she had was bad insurance. And they said, well, the insurance company won't pay the whole thing. I said, well, you're not going to get it then. And I told that to GMAC. I said, well, you're not going to get it. After about a month, they came back and they said they sued the other insurance company for it and got it. I said, good. And I told them right then, I said, now let me explain to you. I said, how many cars have I bought through y'all? I said, you can go look. I bought like 6 cars through y'all. I said, I'll never buy another one through y'all. I said, just because of the attitude y'all have now.
Yep. Oh, crap.
Don't tell me you forgot your coffee.
I did. Well, I got my I got my son's vehicle back, or I got my vehicle back from my son, and I took all the stuff out of the thing, and I forgot to put it in the truck, so I got to go park elsewhere.
So Joe, have you got plans to fly in the storm or what?
Oh, hell no. Now, after it leaves, I might go out this afternoon in between the raindrops.
Get it
And,
before and
see-
after?
Yeah, I want to see what the lakefront's supposed to be flooding out there today. And if it starts flooding this afternoon and it's not raining, I'm gonna go out and put the drone up. Especially if Maddie Kurtz comes over, one of the local reporters. She's from the North Shore, so they usually put her on this side because she lives over here, so she'll be close to home. And if they put Maddie over here, I had definitely got to go out there. This girl was one of the dance team members at Slidell High School, and I've taken pictures of her before out there. And when she saw me, she come right up to me and said, aren't you, Mr. Joe, that shoots pictures? I said, yeah. And this was at 4th of July a couple of years ago. And now every time I see her, she got to run up and hug me. And that's good because she's like 23 years old. So she can hug me all she wants. And I'll tell you, I was watching her this morning. She's dressed in that little safety vest and all that stuff she's got on. Oh, she's hot. She's just, I won't even say hot. She's just pretty. She's just got this pretty look about her.
That's so funny. This morning, somebody came and cut the grass outside from the council. A lady came out, was so pissed because he just scattered all the grass everywhere. So she swept it all up. And then he came back and redid it, scattered the grass everywhere again. So she came out, she got really angry, snapped her brush, sweeping it up. And now he's come back again for a third time and done it again. All in one day. There might be a few curse words in a minute.
Well, have you noticed, Joe, that all of the females on any show, any news show or whatever, they all look like supermodels.
Yeah. You manage it.
Well, you haven't seen any news shows over here, then, have you?
The ones over here, they're all made up to the nines.
They put them in high heels and dresses and
fitting
stuff.
body stuff. Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna admit though, I've never wanted to watch the weather just so I could see some woman pointing at a map, got in a nice dress, going, "It's gonna be sunny over here." Just give me the weather, bitch.
East Coast says that today is the peak day for hurricane season.
Yep.
Just what Joe wanted to hear.
Well,
Hey, Corey, good morning.
Lauren, what's up?
Uh-oh. Neighborino's just gone storming out.
The American Century. We have the front and active for the Salt Dock 1021. Over.
I think he might have dushed a window again.
Roger. Study traffic.
Yeah, these guys with the lawnmowers, they don't clear the rubbish up, so they just go straight across the grass, sod it. And anything in its way just gets fired. And I know something hit next door's window, so she's not happy either. Just heard a slam a door. Hey, Lance.
Hey,
Hey,
David.
Lance.
Morning, Joe.
I can see you in the dark.
Yeah, it's a little cloudy and dark this morning, but hey, look at the bright side. I only have 179 days left.
Here you go, Paul.
But who's counting?
Matt is the one in pink.
Oh, yeah. No wonder you like her coming up and hugging on you.
Yeah, I like whenever I go see, whenever she's somewhere, I go out there and make sure I get a hug. And she's about 5'2". She used to be on the dance team at Slidell High. Yeah, I go get the hug every time I can.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
he's really
Lance, you
winding
heading
up
to
for you.
fly or are you heading into work?
Both. I'm gonna stop on the way in, and I think I'm gonna do a waypoint so I can do it kind of in the. It's not light, but it's not dark yet. And then in about a month it'll be dark, and I'll do another waypoint for the same flight in the dark. Did I lose you guys?
Nope,
Okay.
we're still here. Joe's on the phone and
Did you fly yet this morning, Paul?
no.
And Joe's probably getting all kinds of nasty weather, I'm guessing.
He keeps coming back. And he
The
goes,
American Century is upbound. She should be here in about a half an hour.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Also, you got to be careful of that bus.
It's nice and sunny out though. Blue sky.
All right. It's supposed to rain here tomorrow, so we'll see.
I may have to bug out of here shortly just to go get that ship and get back here.
Yeah.
Well, that's one thing nice about having David and Joe here because and sometimes even Justin, but I think Justin's playing Fortnite or something, or he might be recovering from a night of playing Fortnite. He usually pops in about 10 or 10:30 or so.
Yeah, we'll have curly whirly.
So my school had a no. We are now installing a no cell phone, no earbud, no headphone policy this year.
Oh,
So
wow.
yesterday was the first day, and it's gonna take some getting used to for the kids. They're, they were able to basically pull them out anytime they wanted. Now you need to keep them, you need to put them away. I had to remind one kid 3 times in one class period. It's like, okay, I'm gonna be calling home to let your parents know that you're starting to struggle day 1, but I'm gonna be fairly lenient until the end of the week.
Now, do you have a sign up in the classroom?
Yeah, and there's signs everywhere, and all the teachers went over that rule yesterday in class. So all the kids.
We're having pizza now, are we?
Say that again.
Right.
Go ahead, David.
No, it's all right. Talk to Laura. The guy that's cutting the grass, the woman must have made a formal complaint because he keeps coming back, spinning around in front of a flat and then zooming off. So I think he's winding her up.
Oh, you gotta love humans, huh?
To be honest, I wish he'd go in a flat with a lawnmower and do the fucking carpet. She's one of them that moans about everything.
Uh-huh.
Somebody walks past. Don't you drop that litter? He's still eating the burger. Piss off.
That's my neighbor as well. like that.
I mean, it's good that she's looking after the place, but yeah, there is sometimes she just gets on your wick when you're trying to walk past and she's having a go at you. Should you be walking on the grass? Yes.
Partner told me you were contacting them on 12. Are you guys the party number?
Oh, Laura got some good news.
What's that?
Good.
Amazon are not refunding until the 8th of October. And then it's going to take another 7 to 10 days for the refund. And then it's going to take another 4 days for the item to arrive.
That sounds like almost like you're waiting for the DJI Neo.
Yeah, on October 8th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you order one, Lance?
No, this is just a graphics card.
I did not. I am kind of mixed. I've seen some videos and I thought, maybe for the price I might.
You know
But-
what, Lance? If you'd have been
Yeah.
around the last 2 days, Paul would have got you one.
Dang.
Paul's the Neo mule. He's been back and forth to Canada.
I've been back and forth to Canada twice in the last 3 days and bought 2 Neo Flymore bundles.
Get out of town.
Yep.
Yeah,
What
literally
are you
out of town.
And,
What do you
and
get?
the last time I went yesterday, I got one. It was for Joe, but Joe decided he didn't want it because he didn't like the controller that was in it because it was just a plain gray controller.
Yeah.
So the first one I had, and I flew it just one time, and I says this is too much for an old man like me, and
Yeah.
I sold it to AZ Drone, and
Okay.
AZ's got it, or I shipped it out yesterday to
Yeah.
AZ, and so by yesterday afternoon I came back and Joe didn't want this one. So AZ bought it and I shipped it to him again. So he's got 2 of them coming up there Wednesday.
All right. What it cost you up in Canada?
Well, the total cost in US dollars was, hang on, I can tell you.
A lot of money.
Total cost US was $377.46, including taxes, whatever.
Okay.
That's the Flymore bundle.
And that's the one with is that the one with the controller and the 3 batteries?
And the 3 batteries and the charger, yep, everything.
Okay.
And that includes taxes out the door. Grab
Yeah.
the box and come back home.
Did they not have the 3 batteries and the drone by itself?
No. No, nobody does. It's the closest place I could find these drones in Canada at a Best Buy
Okay.
was Toronto, which is considerably east of me.
Yeah. So how long a drive?
East of me?
Yeah. How long a drive did you have to go from
Oh,
your house to?
me,
Yeah.
me
Yeah. The best.
to Best Buy in Sarnia. It's about 5 miles, 7 miles.
Get out of town.
Yep. Because Sarnia is just across the bridge, but the kicker was, I don't know if you've ever seen my background, they're doing construction on the bridges. So they've got one bridge completely closed down. So that means all auto and the truck traffic are on a single lanes coming to and from Canada. So
And
I creeped back. I flew over, but I creeped back because the truck traffic is so heavy here on the heading into the U.S.
yeah.
I creeped back. It took me about an hour and a half all total.
And now customs here in Washington, if I were to go through customs in Blaine, which is straight up I-5, sometimes it's an hour just to get through customs, right? You know, as soon as you hit customs, it could take an hour to get through.
Corey lives over there, and he says that he can go to Best Buy and see them right now. And the reason I did it was, well, of course, AZ, you know, he's got quite a drone collection, but the second one, he says he's just going to give it to his son. Let him play
Yeah.
with it.
And he's in Arizona, isn't he?
Yep. So I shipped them both yesterday, and they should get to Arizona by Wednesday.
Yeah. 377 is way too much. I wouldn't pay that. I would pay the 199 or maybe the 289 for the 3 batteries. I have the goggles and the motion controller, so I don't need that another in controller.
Sure.
Yeah, that was my main thing, because I didn't want the extra controller for extra $100.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't.
I'd never use it. And that controller you're not going to sell. Nobody's going to want it.
No.
You know, in fact, I canceled my DJI order last night after listening to Drone Nation. I listened to Lauren talk about it, and he talked good about it. But it's just the more I hear about this drone, it's a beginner drone for a beginner person, and it does everything you want it to do. Like for what I want it to do, it would do it. But I could do the same thing with my Avata 2.
Yeah.
You know, if I want, and I could fly the Avata 2 in here if I wanted to, and it would be quieted in this little drone.
Yeah.
You know, so
And
it's like
the modes that it has on it. Well, my Mavic 3, my DJI, my Mini 3 Pro, you know, they all do that. My Air 2S, you know, I can do all the droney stuff.
I wouldn't
And,
even classify it as a beginner drone. I'd classify it as a social media drone.
That's a
'Cause
special.
that's exactly what it is. It's for people
Well,
that want
Lauren-
to do social media shit.
Lauren said something.
Where are you? Laura, where are you? Justin, shut up.
No, Lauren said, Lauren was talking last night, and he said that they were talking about 107. They said, well, this is, you don't have, it's 149 grams. You don't have to register. You don't have to do anything. And they were talking about 107, and same thing on Pilot Institute yesterday. He said, if you fly at 107, you have to put a remote module on it because it doesn't have remote ID.
Oh, geez. Yeah, that's a deal breaker. I'm not
Someone-
going
Yeah,
to
that's another thing. You see, that's another thing that got me when I heard that.
They got to classify a certain weight limit to where it's not even considered a drone
Right,
anymore.
Lance,
That's
this is for you.
ridiculous.
Justin, shut up.
No, you shut up.
Ah.
Oh, I started something. Sorry, Justin.
I'm
No,
glad she
but
told you to shut up.
No, there's-
You're left too.
Now, there's got to be a certain weight limit though, where they got to classify it as this is no longer an actual drone anymore.
They have I've checked this over here. The classification is if it doesn't have a camera, it's a toy. If it's got a camera, it's not a toy.
Yeah, but not over here. They don't have that.
There should be another classification, call it a sub drone. Because it doesn't
have
have
that.
the distance,
That's for Curtis, isn't it?
it doesn't have the power, because you know what is it, 15 to 18 minutes max with it.
Yeah, but you got to remember, Curtis has the sub
13, 14 minutes.
And you know how many people I see on social media that are using drones that I know sure as shit don't have a 107?
Oh, I guarantee.
There's one dude called Lamont at Large. Watch his channel. I fucking can't stand the dude because I think he's full of himself.
Is
But
his
watch
dad named Fred
No,
Hey,
Sanford?
no,
Mark's in the
Lamont
chat,
and Chris
everybody.
Sanford.
no. His name's Lamont though, and his channel's name is Lamont at Large. But go watch some of his drone footage that he does, and it's not the most legal looking drone footage. When he was
What are
like
you saying?
400 feet over the Hollywood sign.
Drone license, but no drone.
He'd be saying, "You flying that drone, you big dummy."
Yeah. Justin Laura's just said she's gone the other way. She has a drone license, but no drone.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
true.
glad you clarified that. I was about to put my disclaimer up.
Joy, check your inbox.
Don't do it,
But I
Joe.
tell you, Lance, it's right now. It's a deal breaker for me. I've got it on order still through Crutchfield, but I'm about to. I'll probably cancel it.
Yeah,
that's
if
just-
I've got
I
to drop
can't-
the module on, that's a deal breaker. I'm not, if it's built in, I would have bought it, but no.
Well, the thing is I don't think I'd ever fly. What would I was saying I could use that inside doing real estate stuff inside, but I could do that with the Avata 2 and get a better camera. And
Yep.
even if I did it inside, then I don't need a remote module for it then, being
No,
inside.
you don't. You wouldn't need
So
it.
that's a plus. But if I'm outside flying it, no matter what I do, it's all recreational.
Good
Yeah.
morning, Mark.
But now let me ask you a question. If you're out there and you're doing it as B-roll, and you're saying, "Well, I'm doing it as B-roll for my YouTube channel," now that's not recreational.
That is correct.
So it's like
If you're indoors, it
I'd
don't
say
matter.
I'd have a fit if I got
So
charged
that-
with something like that.
Does
We'd be
that
going
thing
to court.
Lady walked
This is for you.
into a drugstore and told the pharmacist she needed some cyanide right away. The pharmacist naturally was concerned by such a request and asked, "Why in the world do you need cyanide?" The lady then explained that she needed it to poison her husband. The pharmacist's eyes got big, and he said, "I can't give you cyanide to kill your husband. That's against the law. I'll lose my license. They'll throw both of us in jail, and all kinds of bad things will happen. Absolutely not. You cannot have any cyanide." The lady reached into her purse and pulled out a picture of her husband in bed with the pharmacist's wife. The pharmacist looked at the picture and replied, "Well, you didn't tell me you had a prescription." Lady
That's funny. You didn't tell me you had a prescription.
I do love
What was that joke you said yesterday about lesbians? Is that Justin? What was it?
What an asshole.
Which one? I said a bunch of them. Are you
The
talking
one
about,
the medication?
oh yeah, tricoxagen?
Yeah, tricoxagen. Yeah, what was that for depression?
Yeah.
I gotta
What
write
do
that down.
What do lesbians take? Medication do they take for depression?
Trevor
Tricoxagen.
put in the chat, he says, Justin needs to attend a Fortnite Ananon, but it's Al-Anon.
The hell's an anon?
I
think it should be
for addiction.
Fortnite Anonymous.
Al-Anon is the lower of Alcoholics Anonymous.
You talking about? There's people way more play it way more than I do. Laura, Jason, they play it more than I do.
Yeah. Well, yeah, as long as it makes you happy and you still get on with life, it's just like anything else. If you become so addicted to anything, I don't care what it is, that you give up on anything else in your life, you're not taking care of yourself, you're not cognitive to human.
I
Then,
still
yeah.
get up once a week and shower.
Yep.
I'm completely given up.
Well, you only shot one Saturday, right?
Whatever day she throws
Helping
him
the
in the
clearly
shower.
insane. Sean.
So next time Ron Lockwood comes on, Justin, make sure you tell him that joke. You add a little to it, say Pfizer came out with a new medication. Geek Zvana. What's
Oh.
up?
Yeah, it seems like a lot of people aren't interested in that drone now. Seems like from what you're
Well,
saying.
it's still, last night they were still talking about, like the Drone Nation. There's still a few people that are talking about it. That's just,
Well, there's going to be
It's-
some
I
of
don't
them
know.
out there that are going to buy it just because it's the newest thing that DJI put out.
oh, that's Marcus. Marcus is
Uh.
gonna buy one just because he's got every drone. And he likes the fact that he's got the RC2 with the screen that he could fly it with that. You don't have to worry about the goggles.
Yeah, the RC2 would be, but see, the RC2 is expensive.
More than the drone.
Yep.
Twice as much as the drone.
But if you have RC2, then it's not a bad buy, you know?
Yeah.
Because you got
You see,
something
and
that you're used to fly with it, you know?
Yeah, I've been wanting to get the Air 3, but I've got the Air 2S, and the sensor on the Air 2S is better than the Air 3.
I still
think-
think just pulling your phone out and doing it with your phone is good enough. Like,
Oh, I
and,
agree,
to
too.
me, that's more convenient than dragging a bunch of other shit along with you, controllers and everything else.
Yeah, but the thing of it is if you're old like me and you can't fumble things and get, you know,
That's
you're
about
logging-
80% of the drone community.
Yeah,
It's
No, I'm
you see that
saying
storm?
the hurricane?
Well, yeah, that sucker's shifting back towards us, making that turn right
yeah,
towards us.
it's coming right over them.
Told you
It's
that
gonna
thing
definitely go
shifted.
directly over Johnny right now.
Well, Justin's been praying for you to get it.
Yeah, to get it. Huh?
No, now see, but now they remember yesterday. Hold on, let me show you.
I hear.
Remember yesterday they had it as a 2 out here, so maybe
Yeah.
it's slowed down a little bit because they don't have it to becoming a 2 till the coast because they had it marked
Yeah,
as a 2
now
over
they
there.
actually saying that it may not get to be a 2
So that's
because
good.
you got
Then.
wind shear coming in from Houston area.
Well, that's good then. That means it's not going to be as powerful.
But
But
we're
see,
still projecting right now over me. It's going to be right on the eye wall. It's saying 76 to 90 mile an hour winds.
there's a couple
Look at that
more
bitch out there.
disturbances, and then there's something
Well,
going
you know
on
which one
over
I'm
here.
worried about on those two? Worried about that one in the red because it's low. That one in the top one will be a fish storm. But that one low, if it stays underneath Haiti and Dominican Republic, that sucker will run right into the Gulf.
This one kind of looks like it's curving this way. This one kind of looks like it's going like that.
Yeah, but you see
But
that
it's
front
way
coming.
too-
But there's a front coming across that's going to make that top one go back out into the Atlantic.
It's too early to tell because
The bottom one you got to worry about. Yeah, it's peak hurricane day today. Yeah, right now, Shell Beach, Louisiana, that's about 15, 20 miles south of New Orleans, is getting 23 mile an hour winds. The coast is getting around 27 mile an hour winds.
Isn't November 1st the last day of hurricane season?
Yep. We
'Cause
get
it's all-
hurricanes in October here. So it's like
Yeah, I think November 1st is the last official day.
Yeah. that's the
But
November
they
30th.
say that
30th.
they
November
say the
30th.
last month or so is the worst time.
Yeah, right now is the peak of hurricane season. Yeah.
Well,
It's a
I went-
radio station. Now they'll be on this all day.
I went on live chat with DJI before, and they say they know there's a problem, and they've had quite a few RC2s. They say there's a batch of them have got that issue, and if I send it back, they'll just replace it with a new one. And they're sending me return label. And the other good thing is I don't have to send it all the way to Holland now, because they've opened a service centre in London.
It's because they've been sending y'all all the bad ones.
Well, they probably are doing voluntary replacements so they don't have to do an official recall. Because you've noticed as much shit as DJI's had issues with certain drones and stuff, they've never actually recalled anything.
Yeah. So I've basically got a brand new Mini 4 Pro Fly More for £570.
Pretty good
Well,
deal.
then you. So I'm assuming the update didn't do anything to fix it.
It wouldn't even connect to the computer.
Yeah, it's probably got some kind of fucking hardware issue. Then that obviously
It's a
isn't software.
firmware issue, they say. Yeah.
It's a firmware, not hardware.
Yeah.
Well, why don't they just push a firmware update out to it?
Joe,
Well,
I'll
they
be
can't
back.
because it's blocked,
They
right?
can't because it won't connect to anything.
Yeah,
Oh,
fuck.
Paul found another Neo.
I guess that when they get it back, they'll be able to do it with their equipment and
Joe,
put
when
it,
I get back, I'll
reload
send
the
it to you.
firmware on it.
Paul's on his way to get another Neo. 3 days in a row.
They haven't got any. You can't.
If he comes back with another Neo, I'm gonna get off. Man, this is the lay and wait day because Jefferson Parish schools are getting out today and they're shutting down. St. Tammany is shutting down today and they're not coming back till Friday. So the games are called off tomorrow night. So I'll get a day off.
Well, you got today off, too, huh?
Y'all got the day off because the baby was supposed to be at 7:15 this morning, and they were having an internet problem yesterday. Y'all know if you heard that. The internet problem they had yesterday is they didn't pay the freaking bill.
Yeah.
So I wanted to giving her the money to pay the bill, and then they asked her last night, "You got the internet fixed?" And she goes, "No, they said we owe another $118." I said, "How do you look at a bill and not know what you owe?" Well, they're saying we paid 118, but you got to pay another 118. I said, "It's probably because y'all been paying late and they want it in advance." Well, so the mom.
Either that or they're
Hey.
2 months. Either that or they're 2 payments behind.
Well, apparently
Try to-
they paid 118 3 times in the last 2 months. That's what they're telling me. I said, well, then find out what you're being overcharged for. You've been late fees or what? Call them. Somebody needs to make a phone call. I said, because I'm not going to bail y'all out like that.
Well,
And the
it's either
mom comes
that
up
or-
and pays the other 118. I said, well,
Well,
why? If
see-
she paid that, why do I have to lend you the money so you get paid this week?
Well,
That's
it's
a
either
lot
that
of
or your
money for
daughter
anything
has a
like that.
ridiculously expensive plan.
$118.
I'm saying, is she getting like 10 gig speeds or some crazy shit?
Crazy money, that.
It's $118. You know how much my internet costs? $45.
That doesn't
And
make
she got
any
this-
sense. So,
She's
like,
got
if she-
AT&T. I said, I got AT&T. It's $45. I said, so what the
Because
hell's
most-
going on with y'all?
most internet companies won't let you go past like a month and a half without paying, and then they're going to
There's
shut your shit
something
off.
going
So
on.
how does she owe 2 or 3 months worth? Because normally
I
they wouldn't
think,
let you
no,
go that long.
I'll be honest. I'll tell you what I think it was. They needed to go to the grocery last night to get some stuff, and I think they didn't have enough money. But ask me for that. I'd have gave them the money for that, Don't tell me bullshit. So then they said, I'm getting the baby this morning, and they were having problems with the internet. So I said, okay, I'm getting the baby this morning. Y'all have internet now? Because if she doesn't have internet and she can't work, why do I get the baby? And she says, no, mama paid the difference last night to get it started, another 118. And then I said, well, okay, if mama paid it, why didn't she pay it originally? Well, because it's my bill and I'm supposed to pay it. I said, so she just said, the hell with you, get it from somebody else. And then all of a sudden they said, oh, by the way, I'm not going to be working this afternoon. Mom will be back. You don't have to watch the baby. I said, oh, Lord help me.
You know what I think she did? She probably called you and your ex-wife and probably asked for the 118. You probably both.
Ex-wife lives with her.
What I'm saying is they probably both gave it to her. You probably both gave it to her. She ended up with
I
200.
guarantee you, the ex-wife said, get the money from your dad. I'll pay half of it. And see if he'll pay half, you get paid. That's what she did.
So
But
she
it's
got the
her
100.
internet too.
So she got the 118 from you, and then probably told her that you only gave her half.
No, she was in the car. She was in the car. I heard her in the background when she said it was $118. So she knew how much it was because she said how much it was. I said, when you gonna pay me? She said, she said, I get my school money this week, and I get my pay this week. I'll pay you this week. I said, okay, pay me this week. Because I've told her she's had a habit of not paying me in the past, and I said, when you get this school money, you're gonna have about $4,000 extra, and you're gonna have money here. If you don't pay me back, it shows me about $240 right now. I said, if I don't get that $240 back, I'm blocking you. You know, I said, because you're not getting any more. That's it. It's ridiculous that I've got to give you money and you got money and y'all do it stupid. You know, she got $500 worth of food stamps, but she don't have them yet this month.
Better fill the trash cans up with water, Joe. He's not going to lose water. He'll be all right.
What trash cans? I don't know what trash. I got a 5-gallon water jug in the back. I got 2 gallons in the refrigerator, and I've got like 2 gallons of water and then boxes that are boxed water. It comes emergency water. But water is never the problem anymore. They used to be the problem years ago. The only reason people want that is for flushing toilets.
I've never had an issue with water. The 3 I've been through, the water's never went out. It's always
as many as I've been through. I've been through maybe 27.
It's only ever been just electricity with the 3 that I've had. Even the internet.
Yeah.
If you could power your router and your modem, you would have internet. The internet still worked. The only thing that went down was just the power. That's the only thing I ever had issues with. But like I said, if you had a way of powering your modem and router, you could still have internet.
I can do that. I got that big power bank.
There's a
But
lot
if it comes down to where I lose power, I'll just work off my phone. My phone will be fully charged tonight. Actually, I think I might fully charge my laptop because I could piggy bank my laptop off of the phone. I've got all my batteries charged for the Mini 3, all my batteries charged for the Mavic 3, all my batteries are being charged for the Avata. Because like I said, tonight, if it's not raining, I'm gonna find out the lakefront is flooding out there, but the lake should be getting crazy. I'm gonna put the Mavic 3 up out that way. Get some pre-storm footage, you know.
Morning, Gary.
And then tomorrow, it should be like in the 30-mile-an-hour winds, 20-mile-an-hour winds. I go back out there and get the lake going crazy again. But I got a full tank of gas. I got that the other day. So I don't have to go worry about gas. It's actually, I hate to say this, it's kind of nice knowing that between now and Thursday, all I got to do is this. Because everything's taken care of. I got an order coming in from Amazon today. Because I got enough coffee for one more day. I forgot to order my coffee. I've been getting it through Amazon because I get it cheaper. Yeah, they're saying it's still going to be a category 2 right before the coast. That's only 100-mile-an-hour winds. Guess what I ordered, Justin?
What?
You know how I bought that big griddle, right? That big Blackstone.
Mm-hmm.
That's still sitting in the back in the box because I'm gonna probably bring it back Friday or Monday. I got till November to bring it back, but I'm gonna bring it back before I have to pay the bill. The only thing I have to pay for is that little air thing for my car. It was like $79, and I needed it anyway, so I'd rather have it. But I'm gonna bring it back. But I was looking on Amazon yesterday, and I was looking through, and I used to have one years ago. It was a cast iron, just a round 12-inch skillet, and it was it's no sides on it. It's just flat. It's like a griddle. So I just bought the griddle, cast iron griddle for $19, and I just use that to do my eggs and stuff in the morning on.
I was never a fan of cast iron.
Well, if you season them right and you pay attention and you do them right, they're like non-stick and they work perfect.
Yeah, I never really
You know,
liked
they
cast
they
iron
cook
'cause-
fast, everything else. And you could do the same thing. You could heat them up and you could put corn on them and you could put vegetables on them and you could do fried rice on them, everything else, just like a griddle.
Good thing about cast iron is it tends to heat evenly over the whole surface.
Oh yeah, it gets hot too. You get that thing hot enough, it'll start glowing. Yeah, for $20, figured I'd rather spend $20 than 279. Although I really want that Blackstone. I'll just wait till I move again. And I got a countertop to do it. I put it there. I got the coffee coming in. I got three
want a
things in that
black-
order. I can't remember what the third thing is.
I want a Blackstone barbecue, man. Those things are nice. Where you got the
Yeah,
griddle and everything
500
on the
bucks.
grill.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are nice.
Look at what it is. I got a third thing in that order. I can't remember what it is. I got the
Different,
pound
another
of
100
coffee.
Another $150, Joe. You might as well get the grill outside.
Oh, I got the sleeves, the plastic card sleeves coming in for those cards I made up. Yeah, I can get a pound of coffee for $5.48 in a can. And if I try to buy that at the store around here, it's $8. I've been buying the coffee from Amazon. And I have my Master Air Screws Avada 2 new propellers coming in. I wonder if Lance saw that. Have you seen those new propellers Master Air Screw came out with for the Avada 2, Lance? He's muted, but he just came back on.
Wow, the big ones that go outside really aren't that expensive compared to what you paid for that one. Look,
Yeah, I know.
Blackstone. That one's 158.
See, that's 149, but that's propane, I think. There's still propane in that one for 149.
That one's probably electric, maybe. I don't know.
No,
No,
the
that's outdoor.
only electric one they got is that one that's got that fold down cover. You're gonna have to put black.
Yeah, these are nice though, man. Tell you what.
Yeah, they're okay.
That's a nice little one for like an apartment right there. Nice little outside grill. That's like perfect for a little balcony. Let's see.
Yes,
I
Laura,
think
that
that's-
was me.
I think that's the one that Joe got. Those are nice though, man. I could. What the hell is this? It's got little trays on the bottom.
You can't have that. It's a double decker, so it's got to be a UK version.
But they always like on these pictures too. They always put like all this shit, but then when I actually see people do reviews on stuff like this, they can't fit half of that on there. That's not bad for George Foreman. $50. Pretty big one too.
Right over George Formby.
Oh, those are really good for making hamburgers. You want to get like all the grease and shit out of them. They always come out really good on a Foreman. Here comes Lance twice again. The hell? Hey, he's in his classroom. Well, what's this one down here?
That's when he turns up at home. And then he appears on both of them.
Now, unfortunately, we don't have no control over the audio of the stream, Dusty.
What's up with the audio of the stream?
He's also in a heavy equipment, probably a backhoe or something right now, and he can't hear the stream. It's because those Temu headphones he uses. Okay, now that camera's off.
Did you hear the news anyway, Justin?
What?
It's going to be at least the end of October before Laura can have her computer back.
Oh, yeah, I was listening when you said that.
Bunch of arseholes.
Oh, unless you can get the graphics card early, right? And then just wait for the refund.
Yeah,
So
but
if
the
you got that
refund goes
much-
back to gift voucher. And
Oh, yeah, so it's not going to replace the money in your
yeah,
account.
so if I bought it, she would be
And she would just have
Amazon credit. Use.
Yeah, then she would just have another 200-300 pounds to spend on Amazon.
Exactly.
Yeah, it sucks. If you were getting the
Well,
cash
exactly
back,
what
I
she'd
would
buy
say.
with it as well.
Yeah, if they were giving you cash back, then it wouldn't really be a big deal if you had the money
No.
to just put up front and then get it back later. But
I fucking hate Amazon. So one woman tried to tell me that Amazon hadn't received it back. And I said, well, I've got Royal Mail acknowledgement that you have. And she told me to F off and hung up. I was like, well, that ain't happening. Be right back. I've got to go get the birds some fruit.
Yeah, Johnny, that was Johnny calling. He said it is pouring over by him right now.
Come on, Riri.
tell him he can bring all his drones over to your house for safekeeping.
I told him that. He said no. I said, you want me to come get all your drones and hold them for you? I said, I'll come get the V-Copter and hold it.
Oh, the V-Copter. I remember that thing.
And you know what's got me mad? He got a V-Copter. He bought a second V-Copter from somebody. Can't remember who. The same guy that's told to him before. That has something to do with V-Copter. Something to do with it, the company. And he got it and he called me up and he said, I got it brand new in the box if you want it for like $395, something like that. I should have bought it. Just because of the uniqueness of it, you know?
Problem with
I've
that
flown it. I thought it was
drone,
pretty cool.
the problem with that drone though is the specs were like 2 years out of date by the time they released it.
Yeah.
Like there was drones that were half the cost. There were, half the cost coming out that had better specs than that drone did. And that was the problem. Like they just see that's something I've noticed with some of the drone manufacturers is they take forever releasing a drone, and instead of updating some of the parts as they're going along to try to keep up with what the latest stuff is, they end up releasing a drone with 2, 3, 4-year-old specs on it that nobody really cares
Yeah.
about. And so it doesn't blow up and people don't. The only reason that V-copter sold was because of the uniqueness of it.
Yeah,
It wasn't nothing because of any special things it did.
yeah, I flew it once, and I thought it was pretty cool.
I remember when that came out though, because that was like, dude, they were talking about that thing like what, 3 or 4 years ago, and then they had it at that show in Vegas, what, about 3 years ago, and then they released it about a year after that. I think they showed it at the. And the one thing was, a lot of people at first didn't believe the thing could even fly because at the show in Vegas, they didn't take it out or anything. They just had it running on a display attached to a display inside a glass case. They weren't actually flying it around. So a lot of people didn't think it would even fly. Because they just came off kind of shady because they weren't really flying it around and like showing it off for people. They just had it in a glass case for people to look at.
Yep.
Which kind of made people question whether it could fly or not, but it ended up flying. I remember seeing a lot of videos on it back then.
Yep.
Is that company still around?
I don't know if you're gonna catch that ship, huh?
Yeah, that's what he went to go do.
You come back with a drone, I'm gonna be shocked.
He'll
I think he's done
come
with
back
that.
with donuts.
Although right after he sold that second one to David, there was like 3 people in the chat last night saying they wish they would have known that because they wanted one. It's like Paul should have just drove around to all the Best Buys up there and cleared them out.
Yeah.
He couldn't, because that was all that one had, and the next one that had any was in Toronto.
Yeah.
And that's miles away.
Some poor Canadian went up there to go buy one and was like, yeah, aha, the Americans don't have one. And then he realized it got bought out by the American.
Bad Americans. Should have waited your turn.
Damn Americans.
Some like 16, 18-year-old kid was going in there all excited he was getting a Neo.
That guy just bought the last one. Get him! Fuck, he's going over the border. I'm still waiting for the hit squad to turn up. Please, today I've smashed the drone smuggling gang. Paul being carted away.
Caught smuggling cocaine and drones over the border.
drones and Pepsi.
Yeah. Said he did not want to pay the tax on Boston creams.
Yeah. He was happy to pay the tax on the drones, but not the Pepsi and Boston creams.
And you see pictures of him popping Paul's trunk, and it's just nothing full of fucking Tim Hortons boxes. Lance wants to know if you bought those. Yeah, he bought 2 sets of those, Lance. The sets of props for Master Air Screws.
Yeah. Well, Toronto's got 1, 2. Let's see how many they got.
Oh, that sucks. If anything's coming in the mail, Joe, it's gonna get delayed.
Well, I'll get mine today. I won't get it tomorrow. Yeah, it's coming today. So I should get mail today. Yeah, the two Toronto stores have 8 Neos. 8 Neos.
Between the two,
Yeah,
is that 2 stores or is that 4 stores?
it's 2 stores.
So they have 4 each, huh?
Well,
That's
they
surprising.
one's got 5 and one's got 3. You never know.
Well, I'll put it to you this way. Well, it says they got one. No, it said 4 and 4. I'm looking at the stores. Shoot, they got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 stores that have them in stock. The only one that don't have them in stock is the one that Paul bought them up.
Those are all in Toronto though?
The 2 Torontos, Ontario, 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 Ontario,
Dude,
Ontario.
Ontario's got a lot of Best Buys.
Ontario's got 8 stores. You know?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's actually so see more stores. It's probably more. Yeah, and then the rest of them are out of stock.
I honestly don't even like Best Buy, to be honest with you. I'm not a big fan of Best Buy.
They have 43 stores. Only 10 stores out of the 43 have them in stock.
The 2 or 3 Best Buys I've been in around my area have all their stock on shit is just so small.
So what you're saying is Best Buy is not the Best Buy.
I don't think so, no.
But what about
I
the
need to
Best
make
Buy
a trip down. I need to make a trip down to Miami to go to Micro Center. Oh, I want to go to Micro Center so bad. That's like a 4 or 5 hour drive just to get there.
Get Laura graphics card while you're there.
Yeah, I want to go down there. I always wanted to go into a Micro Center. And usually when you go in as a first time customer, you get a bunch of really good deals. If you've never been in there before, you can sign up for like the rewards program and you get a bunch of good discounts. Like that monitor that Jason bought, that first one that was $1,000. Micro Center was giving it for $6.99 to new customers. If you were a new customer, you got it for $6.99 for that 42-inch ultra wide.
Can't you just get the train down there instead of driving?
Probably.
They don't use trains in the US.
Yeah, I know.
Get out for a bit of artwork.
If I went down there, I'd rather drive though.
Yeah, fill your car up.
Because I can do what I want and stop when I want. I don't like public transportation. I don't mind using it if I'm like in a big city, but if I was in New York City, I'd probably use public transportation a lot, but just because it's more
I think
feasible.
you have to in New York City because of
I mean, you don't have to, but you pay out the ass for parking and shit.
well,
Like,
you have to because of all the freaking cars on the road. You can't get anywhere.
You got to pay to drive into New York anyway, haven't you?
Yeah, people pay ridiculous amounts for. That's why you'll meet a lot of people from New York City. Like I've met some people that moved down here from New York City that have never lived anywhere else, but they decided to move, and they're like in their, late 30s, in their 40s, late 40s, finally moving out of New York City and to come down here, and they've never even had a driver's license. Don't even know how to drive a car. And I'm like, man, that's crazy.
They don't need to.
Oh, I know they don't need to, but it just blows my mind that they've never learned how to drive a car in that many years. But if you move down here or you move, to the Midwest or anything, you better learn how to drive real quick. Otherwise, you could be walking everywhere. And shit ain't going to be close either. You'd be fucking walking 5 miles just to get to your neighbor's house.
You see, it would have cost me like, what, $420 about with Paul, right?
Uh-huh.
I've got it on Crutchfield, $314. It's about $100 difference. And
So
that's
if you
without the
go,
controller, and like the controller's underneath.
and if you live in a place like Ron, dude, the public transportation is almost non-existent.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to have a car.
That's like here where I'm at. There's no public transportation.
No, because when cars really took off in the U.S. and that became like a U.S. staple, was just highways and vehicles everywhere. A lot of the train companies, they got rid of a lot of train lines and a lot of. Dude, there's so much abandoned railroad track in the U.S. everywhere that they don't use anymore because they just now it's mainly freight that runs on it. There are still Amtraks that run on
Have
rails,
you
and
got it
there
into your
is,
amendments yet? You know, like the First Amendment.
but what?
America, we have a right to a car.
Well, and the more people started moving and spreading out too, it almost became necessary. If we had to have a rail stop at every single little town, oh my God, dude, the infrastructure would be insane.
Well, we have it.
Yeah, but you're like the size of 2 US states. That'd be easier to manage.
It's a bit unfair for those disabled people that can't drive because of their disability.
Well, they have transportation for people like that. Actually, one of the companies I was going to go work for, that's what his company did. They transferred, they just would pick up disabled people and people that couldn't drive and take them to their doctor's appointments and take them to go grocery shopping, stuff like that. They didn't have to pay for any of that. It was all paid for.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the DJI countering CCT drone app, ready?
Huh?
Yesterday. Motion to reconsider laid on the table, agreed without objection. Then at 4:35, it says motion to suspend the rules and pass the bill and amended as agreed, voiced by voice vote. And it said passed, agreed in the House on motion to suspend rules and bill agreed to by voice vote. Debate proceeded with 40 minutes of debate on H bill, whatever, the HR 2864. And then at 4:23, considered under suspension of the rules. And then at 4:23 p.m., it says move to suspend the rules and pass the bill as amended.
They passed it again in the House.
Sounds like it.
Yep. Well, the Senate wanted them to go back and give them a more refined bill that was on its own. So that must have been what they did. And now they repassed it. Now it's going to go back to the Senate again. If the Senate passes it, it's over. You might as well just go ahead and pack it in.
Well, all they're going to do is stop all new drones coming in.
Oh,
The
I
ones
know,
we have are
but
still good.
Maybe that's
But
why
then
they're
it's
holding
just-
out on the Neo.
yeah, but then it's just a war of attrition at that point, right? Because
Yeah.
they'll just starve you. Well, eventually, you guys will get starved out unless another company steps in. And the
Yep.
thing is you see how many people break their shit, and when you can't send it in to get it fixed,
No, you'll be able to get it fixed. The ones that are, you won't be able to get any new models in. Everything that's here, DJI
Well-
will have to do is keep fixing them, or tell you to hell with you,
well, that's what I'm saying is DJI is probably not going to want to keep fixing drones after 3-4. They might support them for a good 3, maybe 5 years at the most, but
Yeah, I'm
eventually
thinking
they're
5
not.
years.
Eventually, they're not going to want to support them anymore, and they're just going to cut y'all off. And like I said, then it just becomes a war of attrition at that point. It's just a matter of until you guys run out of drones and there's no more left. people start running out of batteries and yeah, that's pretty much what it's gonna be. But you'll have other companies that are gonna step in to want to fill that market. That's gonna happen. Somebody's
feels
gonna
good.
step up and fill that market, whether it's a Japanese company, a South Korean company, it could be an Australian company, a British company. Somebody's gonna want to fill that void and they're gonna step in. You guys might be a little screwed for a year or two,
Yeah.
but
And you're gonna get hit in the pocket as well.
Look-
somebody is gonna step in and fill that void.
Can't those people that need those drones and up-to-date drones for their businesses fight against it because it's unconstitutional in that it's taking their method of earning a living away?
Yeah, I really think that once they pass it, I think that somebody's gonna jump in there and put an injunction on. I don't think it's gonna be automatic, because I think what's gonna happen is it's gonna wind up in court, I think.
Well, it will go to it's gonna go to most likely it will go to the Supreme Court at some point.
Yeah.
And it's up to
I'll tell you
them.
what you need to do. You need to find an independent arbitration. Send it to me. Found in the US Constitution.
The Supreme Court may turn around and say, these are the best things, because they're gonna have to do a review and everything and say, if they don't find anything, they'll turn around and tell Stefanik pack it in, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And if they ever come back like that, that'd be so great. Because then they won, you know? Then we won. But I think it's still got to go through the Senate. Senate's the one pushing the change. But I don't know. Now it's where everybody's got to step up again, write everybody again. And then the companies that use them, the first responders, police and everything, they need to really get involved now and tell them, look, listen to me. This is what we use. This is what works.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. As long as I got mine flying, you know.
Yeah, it's gonna go to. They'll end up taking it to, what is it? What are the courts before the Supreme Court? I'm trying to think. They'll take it there, and then if it doesn't get the ruling that the people want, then they'll appeal it, and then they'll appeal to the Supreme Court, and then the Supreme Court literally has the right to accept or deny any case they don't want it to see. If they don't feel like it's worth their time, they don't have to actually look at it. And then they'll go by then you have to go by whatever the lower court said.
Joe.
If they don't feel like taking the appeal.
Joe, serious question here.
Yes.
If Kamala Harris stood up and said in this debate today, I will block the DJI ban drone law, yeah, and I will make sure you're free to fly your drones, and Trump says, I'm going to make sure it's, they're banned, would you change your vote?
No.
That's all I need to know.
I wouldn't do it because there's too much to lose.
Yeah, if you're going to change your politics on just that, then yeah, that's crazy.
There are people that will. There are people that would do that.
I'm sure there is, but I would never change.
They got stupid people everywhere, you know.
Hey, look, everybody wanted to give DeSantis shit. I see all these people in the drone community from Florida.
But what makes y'all think I'm voting for Trump?
Look. This is the thing. I've seen quite a few people from Florida that wanted to start talking shit about DeSantis, who loved the guy before the whole drone shit. And then they wanted to, I'll just say I'm not going to vote for him again. Well, good. Go live in New York or something.
Yeah.
Well, you want to live in the opposite
I might vote for Harris.
Yeah, I doubt it. You know what I say though?
Hey, any of you fans,
vote, it's your choice.
I got them on my website. I'll sell them to you.
Yeah, but you're doing.
I got them on my website. They're for sale.
But in your case, though, Joe, you're doing so little with the I would say professional side of it, you probably, it's more, I'd say you're more hobbyist
Yeah, I'm just having
than,
fun.
than 107, because you do very little 107 work, actual 107 work.
Well, like Lauren was saying last night, Lauren was talking, and this is where the problem's at. This is why I did 107, is because even though I'm doing it more for fun, I'm doing them to post on YouTube, and FAA says, well, that means you should be 107 because
Yeah,
you were
you're
doing
making
that.
money.
No, I'm not making money, but I'm
Well, you
doing
would
it
do
for a
eventually,
reason
wouldn't
to post. That's
Yeah.
the inference.
Well, see, this was the argument too, is YouTube is putting ads on people's videos now that aren't monetized, right? So
Yeah.
at the end of the day, does that fall on you or YouTube? But I bet you if you read the fine print in YouTube's agreement, when you sign up their terms of services, I bet it says in there that you're agreeing to be monetized, or you're agreeing to have ads put on your videos without you being monetized. I bet you agreed to that with terms of services at some point. Because you know how companies change the terms of services. It doesn't always stay the same. You don't sign up for YouTube in 2009 or still going by the 2009 terms of services.
Hey,
They'll
it's not
update
just
them.
companies. Not just companies
So-
that do that. My wife did.
So
She
at the end
changed
of
the
the
terms
day,
of services.
at the end of the day, I think YouTube, you would end up being responsible for that, because I can almost bet you in the terms of services it says you're agreeing to that. I haven't looked into it, but I can bet you it says somewhere in there that you agree to have ads put on your videos without them monetizing you, which means that you have now agreed for your channel to make money for YouTube, even though you're not getting a cut of it.
Yep.
You know? So
Yeah,
at the end
I'm
of the
about
day,
to-
you would probably still be responsible for that.
I'm about to tell my ex that if I got to keep lending her money, I need to get some benefits in this deal. I need some lanyard.
But about every year, YouTube will put out a new terms of services, and they'll ask you to agree to it to continue to use the platform. So it's a way of them updating the, like I said, you don't just get to use the same terms and services from 10 years ago.
Look, Paul got another drone. Look.
Well, he went over to Canada and bought himself an Inspire.
Oh Lord, don't bring up Inspire. Don't encourage him. Don't encourage
Yeah,
him.
and I agree with you, Dre. Just because somebody fills a space doesn't mean it's going to be equal quality of drones. But at the same
Yeah.
time, if they're not if they're not having to be competitive with DJI, maybe they will. I don't know. I think
Nah,
somebody
I don't
will.
think so.
I think somebody will fill that space, but whether the quality's there, I don't know. Well, that's something way down the road that we would have to see if it ever comes to fruition. But you know, that's just speculation at this point.
Oh, Justin, remember I told you last week, 2 weeks ago, I went and shot pictures for the posters.
Uh-huh.
So I shoot the pictures, and that's when I told you that the colonel got out there and told them, y'all been in this program for 4 years. You know what you're supposed to have in uniform. I don't care what it looks like. It's your posters. That's what you're going to get. You know, you're not ready. I don't care. We're not reshooting them and everything else, right? So there's one girl came up there, didn't have anything on her uniform at all. Nothing. And I said, well, she didn't put down what her rank was. So I said, well, is she a private? What is she? Oh, she's a corporal. So I went back, found another corporal, took the insignias off, redid her thing, and put it on there, right? So I put them out there to check them, make sure everything's fine. Everybody comes back at one name is spelled because I couldn't make out the name. We fixed that, gets put in. They came back. I delivered them yesterday. I get an email last night from her mom saying, Mr. Joe, about a week ago, I sent you an email saying she didn't like her picture. So can we reshoot it?
I wrote back, said, get a better looking child.
You know what I said?
Oh,
I said,
God.
I said, I'm sorry, I did not get this email, and I didn't. I went and checked. I said, I did not get an email. We did not have a reshoot day. I said they were approved, processed, and delivered. I'm sorry.
And on that note,
Not my
Well,
fault.
it's
She's
the
like
best
300 pounds
dressed
overweight, and that's
person
how
on
she looks.
YouTube.
I even helped her out and put her rank. If I'd have knew what ribbons they had, I'd have put her ribbons on it.
Mm.
But I put the rank on it for her so she wouldn't look stupid, you know?
All right, guys, I gotta leave. I gotta
This
go to
is
the thing.
this is definitely the best time of day to go over to Canada on the bridge. Because I took your advice, Joe, and I went over and I checked to see if they had more. So I walked in and says, "Well, how many of these you got in the back room?" He says, "I got 4." I says, "Okay, sold. I'll buy them all."
They didn't have any. I checked. Yeah, Dre, Paul went over 2 days in a row and bought Neos.
For what?
We came back, flew it for 5 minutes, and then sold it to AZ. And then he went and bought another one. And he said, "You want it, Joe?" I said, "No, I don't want it. I don't want the control." And he said, and AZ bought it for his son. So he wound up buying them and mailing them to AZ.
That's the only thing I plan on. I might buy 1 or 2 for Christmas for my grandson, and I might get one for my other granddaughter. I don't know. I'm debating about the Neo or the X1 Pro. I think X1 Pro is a little more expensive, but I think it has
A hell of a lot more expensive.
features for it.
I think I'd go with the Neo just because of the price.
Yeah, the Neo's is priced. That's why I'm looking at that. But I wouldn't get it for myself. I don't have no need for nothing like that. You know, I get it from my grandson. He's into robotics, so I'm like, okay, Grandpa's going to do his part to support your interests.
Yeah, I wanted one just to fly around in here to mess with the dogs. And what I did is I said, you know what? I canceled the one at DJI last night.
Mm-hmm.
After listening to people again, the more I listen, the more I cancel. You know?
Oh, I'm just saying, the noise level of it, and my thing, it doesn't work for what I do. It's battery time's too short. That's why I had to move on from the original Mavic Air and the Spark, because same thing. People say 18 minutes, but I think it was a couple guys, Dobo and a couple guys said you only get what's the name, Adrian, only said you only get about 12 minutes. I said that's Spark level.
Yeah.
12 minutes.
If you got 15 minutes, that'd be a big difference.
Yeah.
Gavin HR said it's about 12 minutes, I think.
Yeah, about 12 minutes max. You're going to get out.
Yeah.
I said, that's what you have for the original Spark, 12 minutes max. I said, that's not doing any good. I don't care if you even use it for real estate. That's not very good, even for doing indoor real estate. 12 minutes?
Yeah.
That's not a whole lot of time. You got to know exactly what you want to shoot, get it up and get it done and land.
Yeah.
I can do inside real estate with the Avata too.
Yeah.
I think it'll do 10 of its automatic modes on one battery, something like that.
Yeah. So it's nothing that I need. I mean, like I said, I wouldn't want something that screeches like that just to fly around the house for fun. It'd drive everybody crazy.
But its tracking seems to be okay, but only from the back, not from the front. It won't track from the front.
Well, that's not anything I'm interested in, tracking. Well, I don't go out and ride bikes, motorcycles. I ain't jogging nowhere, not even to the fridge.
I did see one interesting thing about it was when he had it on tracking and he tried to dodge out of the way. So he ran one way, then ran the other way quickly so that he was out of shot of it. It actually looked around and found him again.
Yeah.
Like I say, you got to look back at all the drones who came before that and how they have improved AI tracking. You go back to where you had the Phantoms, where you had to have the controller in your hand. Once you got the self-tracking with the I would say the Spark does tracking, the original Mavic Air did tracking, the Mavic 2 Pro, Zoom, and regular one all did tracking of some sort. So it's had several generations of tracking. This is nothing new. So I think what was the last one that had pretty good tracking? Was it the Air 2S or whatever everybody was all excited about? The tracking ability of it and everything. I said, same thing with the Avata. The Avata did pretty good tracking. So I'm like,
the Mini 4 Pro and
the AI tracking part is just a chip.
The
camera sensor to follow you. So I mean, it's gone through at least 7 generations of drones to get to where it's at for AI tracking.
I wish they hadn't got rid of the follow me mode where it follows the signal from the controller, because that did not lose you.
Right. It stay with the controller.
Yeah.
And that was the big thing with the original Skydio. It had that little what do you call it thing? Basic controller, but a little probe thing that you put in your pocket that nobody really talked about at first. They made it all sound like the drone itself was doing all this tracking and stuff, and then come to find out
tracking the
because
module.
you had that little thing in your pocket that's what it followed you to.
Yeah, the beacon.
Yeah.
The beacon, yeah. So I'm like, it's always it's always in the details. My thing is people are gonna buy it because it's at a certain price point that people want, that people like. $199.
Yeah.
You can't beat that with a stick. But as far as what it does, I'm not impressed.
Well, all of the drones are capable of still doing that because Litchi and Maven both use that.
Right. Right.
On the same drone.
Like I said, that
on the same
what the drone does not impress me. It is the price point that people are crawling all over each other. And I said, well, I can wait. It's going to be a Christmas gift for, like I say, for a grandchild. Be his first drone. And go from there. Because they said the camera quality is I would say back to 4 or 5 generations back as far as the camera quality. It does not match up to even to the Avata level. They say it goes back to maybe back to the original Mavic Pro level as far as image quality. So that's like 6 drones back.
Well, it's just 4K 30.
And they say it's not even, my thing is
all right.
4K 30 compared to the 4K 30 at the Mavic 2 Pro, it doesn't even compare.
No, I suppose. But that's only sensor size. That's not the actual quality of the picture.
That's my point. It doesn't compare. Because you go back, the original Mavic Pro did 4K 30. And they had a similar sensor size. I think it might be a little bigger. But that's why I tell people, but it's a lot of things that you got to look at. This, like I said, the sensor. Everybody cries about they want a 1-inch sensor, but like I said, everybody's crawling all over each other to buy a camera 4K 30 that does not have a 1-inch sensor. It doesn't even have a 1 over 2/3 sensor. It's less than that.
Right. Just going off topic. We've got
so basically you have the sensor of one of the action cameras sitting in a drone.
Yeah.
That's what you got.
Right. Just going off topic, but we've got a quiet moment. I'd like to wish Justin
it's all about the
good
price
luck
point
in his interview. And then back on topic, Mudball said it's an amazing toy drone.
I like I say, I can't even say it's a. Well, I say I don't have any other toy drones, so I can't compare.
Well, Billy Kyle came out with a video saying it's the best DJI drone ever.
Yeah, right.
Sure it is.
Right. And that's why he still gets drones from the test. Like I said,
can't believe he said that.
It does what it
because
does.
it's so versatile.
Versatile for what?
All the different things it could be flown with. That's what he was talking about. He said, so this makes it the best drone ever.
All the things we flown with, talking about what you can use the goggles 3,
the goggles, the motion 3, the RC2, RCN12, RCN3,
the FPV drone, C2, 3.
That was his consensus right there.
Okay. Well,
if I had him on the panel, I'd say, if he was on the panel, I'd say, lean forward. Lean forward.
I said, I may give him that. My thing is, you might want to throw the original smart controller in too, because it controls about 5 or 6 drones.
That was what Paul wanted. Paul would probably have kept it if it would have connected to the old smart controller.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, he wouldn't.
He said that if he had the RC2, the one that comes with the Air 3, if he had that, he would have kept it because he could. What he did is he flew it with out the palm of his hand on a drone. He pressed the button and it did a droning, and he said it freaked him out because he couldn't control it.
Yeah,
But
I
he
heard
was
him talk
controlling
about that. Yeah, I heard him talking about that the other day.
because
He said,
he AI controlled it. It was under control.
I like how you're all talking about Paul like he's not here.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
paying attention.
well, it
He's
depends on how
probably
many
not
bosses
listening
he
because
buys, he's
He's
because
a-
he's
Oh, he's
editing.
listening.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
he
good
had the
stuff.
phone and the controller connected to it in his hand. He just didn't use it.
And that's what I was saying about, the difference between this Neo and the X1 Pro. I was looking at the sound. The X1, for all the videos of the X1 Pro, even though it costs about $200 more, it's fairly quiet.
Hey, check out what
Like-
Mudball's putting in there. I think he's got Tourette's or something.
Yeah, and I'm actually with Paul. I'm with Paul on the drone, right?
But the hover
Paul is used to his Air2S. He
Yeah.
ain't going to move from it. He's tried moving in the past. It hasn't moved. So it was not going to work for him. He's stuck to his Air2S and he's committed to it. He's loyal.
Well, like I said, it does what he needs it to do. Like I say, every drone that comes out is not made to replace the drone you may have.
no,
And that's
it's
what I'm saying. That's why I
completely
tell people, don't go out and buy drones that don't have a usability. Somebody put out a chart yesterday talking about, if you had them, if money was not the real deal, would you buy a M30T and a Neo or whatever? He had about 3 or 4 drones. I said, don't buy anything if you don't have a use for it. Don't go out and spend. Now it's $10,000. When I bought mine, it was $16,000 for the M30T, but I had a use for it, and it's paying for itself because of the use that I have for it. Like I say, when you talk about going enterprise level drones, like I say, it's a business decision. And that's why I tell people, look at it as a business decision. If you want to buy a recreational drone, go out and knock yourself out, spend $500, get you a mini. Mini,
Well, you
whatever.
said that just now, and I just thought about an invoice I was supposed to send somebody. Thank you. God, I was supposed to do it Saturday too.
Yeah, and that's why I tell folks, when I look at stuff, I have to look at it from a business perspective. What do I need it for to further my business? This is not about playing with something, having fun with something. It's about how do you further your business. And that's why I look at it. Now, if you're just a recreational flyer, I say knock yourself out. You got the bucks in your pocket to go out and buy every little thing that comes out. You'd be like, what's the guy in Canada that does all the reviews?
Captain Drone.
Dave.
Captain Drone. I say, there you go. You're in his category. You're in his category. Simple as that.
Yeah, it was a bit much for me.
Yeah.
Well, besides
Well,
that,
Paul, you're old school.
Dre, the older I get, the more confused I become,
Well, Paul, like I say, you're old school. You came through the system to where all the drones that came out were fairly sophisticated systems that required a certain level of pilot skill to handle. Okay,
Yep.
you're talking about the original Phantoms, you're talking about the Inspires that you've had, and so on and so forth. Even different manufacturers, you had that Parrot, Anafi, all the different drones required a certain level of pilot skill and knowledge. Now you got a drone that pretty much just flies by itself, and you're just a spectator to primarily what it does. And that is unnatural for you, just like it'd be pretty much unnatural for me.
Yeah, it just scared the hell out of me, and I thought, I'm gonna have a heart attack over this freaking drone.
Yeah, because there's no real input for you. There's nothing that say, okay, I feel it may be in a hazardous situation, like you say, the trees by there, or power lines by there, and this thing doesn't talk about what sensors it really has on it.
Doesn't have any.
There's
That's what I'm saying. I mean, it's like, I think it has a rear sensor, so that's why it won't crash, back it up or whatever. And then it has that one sensor in the bottom, and that's it. So there's a high level of risk that this thing will run into something because it can't detect it.
No, it hasn't got any sensors at the back either.
That one does. Well, maybe it's the X1 Pro that has the sensor in the back. They said that thing stops on a dime. If it picks up something, it just stops dead in its tracks. So I'm wondering how is this Neo supposed to not crash doing a droning?
Here I am in my
Don't point
backyard,
at a tree.
and I got all kinds of trees, and there's trees and wires and cables behind me, or in front of me, but behind it.
Right. And that's just my point. I mean, how many stories that we've all seen people say, oh, I didn't notice that tree branch, or I didn't notice that power line, I didn't notice something, and wow, that drone
That's
goes
why
down.
it's got the prop guards so that it doesn't do any damage to itself.
Well,
It just
I
bounces
just,
off.
yeah, I just said that's part of the design because they know it's going to go down. They know it's going to go down, and I think Doble's even got some what do you call them, new rib riders for it. He called them something else. He's already got a set of those out. So when it does bump into something, it may not crack the prop guard frames. But he's already got those out already.
That's crazy.
That probably adds a hell of a lot of weight to a drone that's so light.
Probably just as much weight.
We'll see how it affects the. I guess somebody's telling it the motors are very underpowered.
Yeah.
Because I say if you fly in acro mode, don't think you're gonna be doing flips.
Good evening, Donald. Or good morning.
Whatever else.
Donald.
Mr. Mudball. Explain yourself, young man.
What?
Explain yourself. You put all this gibberish about 4K, $K. 30 doesn't say anything about video quality without knowing the bit rate.
Yeah.
Which I totally agree. I say what I've heard from some of the reviewers that the camera quality is nothing to send home or talk about.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
very
you can,
subpar.
yeah, you can have a very dense sensor. You can have a great big giant sensor on your camera and as many megapixels as you want. But the processing power on the back side of that, if it's not putting through enough bit rate, if it's a smaller bit rate, you're gonna get blocky video. Any
Right.
rapid changes in video, it's gonna be crap.
Yeah, totally agree.
I would rather have 10-bit video at 1080p because you're only be most likely uploading somewhere at that smaller rate.
Mm-hmm.
And you wouldn't have all the chunkiness of a lower bit rate.
Right. And like we've always said over the years, and we've been saying this for several years, and everybody's always been talking about, well, I want more 4K 60, 4K 120, 4K 240, all this kind of stuff. And I always tell folks, who can watch it?
You can't.
You really can't. Now you're talking about 8K,
I will say that having the larger pixel size of going like 4K, 8K allows you to punch in and simulate a multi-camera setup, at least as far as when I used to shoot interviews, I'd have to have two cameras to shoot a high def interview. Now I can shoot 4K and simulate a 2-camera interview.
Right, a punched in version and
it's not if anybody watching that knows what they're looking at will tell you, okay, you punched in on the larger file, it wasn't actually a second camera angle. But
right. I mean, I do that in my podcast where I can set up one camera and I can get 2 shots out of it.
Yep.
A closer up shot and a far back shot. But it makes you think you got 2 cameras doing 2 different things. And like I said, I have a multi. I usually use about 3 to 4 cameras. So, and I can take each camera, punch in each one of those cameras. So now I have 8 shots.
Yep.
I can rotate through. So, but like you say, you gotta be careful on the punch in because if the camera itself doesn't have the quality, and I'm talking about quality from glass lens to whatever, you know, the sensor to the processing power, everything else, those close-in shots can look very kind of blurry, distorted, or anything else in between to say, okay, what am I looking at here? Instead of the native shot.
Yep. But it is useful, especially if you're doing something where you want to put an edit in and you want to hide the edit on a cut.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but like I always tell folks, I said, now you're talking about somebody who's using a subpar system. Now you try to tell that same person you need to have medium to higher end editing skills in software.
No.
Well, I mean, I know there's more.
You need to have skills. Skills. You can have the low end. That's a great thing about, like I said, LumaFusion on an iPad. I use it, and I could use it to produce a professional ad if I wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a little more work.
Speaking of LumaFusion, it had an update day before yesterday.
Did they?
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I said, Don, you said the magic word. It takes a little more time.
Yes, and time is money.
That's why I talk about right there is like you're talking about someone who's using beginner gear, and then you're talking about they need to invest more time or more equipment or more software, everything else to produce a decent product on the back end.
Right, but someone who's a beginner, I would argue that they should work on clunkier software. They should work on clunkier gear. It will teach them how to use the better gear. Right. Better gear is never going to make you a better.
And that's my point. Persons who's using beginner equipment usually use it across the board. It's either going to be a financial situation or just a knowledge situation that you have not got to the next level to know how to use better gear or have the money to purchase better gear to get a better end product result.
Right.
So I can say very rarely you're going to go from one end where I'm going to use a point and shoot camera and I'm going to use a Adobe Premiere to put it all together with. I mean, it's possible and it might come out looking great, but it's going to be the downfall between the gear or either the end result processing with the software or something. You're going to fall out across the board. Usually we all go along the same line. We're all going to be the same line. Just like me, I use a certain software because I've been using this software for almost a decade now, and I'm familiar with the setup of the software. And there's stuff within that software I don't use to this day because I'm not that heavily evolved in trying to produce slick, we call it, on the tip of my tongue, you know, Don, between shots.
Transitions?
Thank you. There you go.
Yeah, no. And, you know, slick transitions are what amateurs use.
Yeah, well, like I said, they had to build them.
You look at a movie, last time you went to a movie, did you notice the transitions? No, transitions should be invisible. They're usually a straight cut or a J cut or an L cut.
Right, and that's what I said. That's the formula I stick to. I said hard cuts are usually what you see in television, or you see a few soft cuts where you might get a fade in, a fade out.
You may get fade, yeah.
Yeah, you get some fade ins and fade outs. But usually it's a
fade
hard
to have their purpose. A fade is to show
what angle you bringing in at.
Yeah, a fade is to show a change in time or place.
Right.
And you can, it's kind of fallen a little bit out of favor. It's a little bit archaic. A lot of times you'll see L cuts or J cuts where the audio of the new location or new scene comes in. An L cut would be where the audio comes in before the video comes in. So you're sitting in a dining room and all of a sudden you hear a car horn and then you cut to the video of the traffic.
Right.
And that is the way they soften transitions a lot now. That's a more modern way of cutting.
Right. Yeah. It brings the storyline a little further.
Yeah. And it just, the entire purpose is to make it a little less jarring transition. And that's a way that people will ease that. You know, if you want to get really fancy in transitions, then you're going to start getting into match cuts and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, I notice a
That's
lot
an,
of folks
that's an,
now like using, the speed ramp transition cut and stuff. And I mean, it looks nice at some point. My thing is with any transition you use, even it's cuts or whatever, the regular cuts are all right. But when you start
yeah, they're
using
your worker.
every time, anytime you overdo a transition other than regular ones, I think it becomes gimmicky. If you speed ramp everything, it gets kind of like, okay, am I just watching
Yeah.
a speed ramp video
It becomes a gimmick.
Yeah, it becomes more of a
It
gimmick.
was kind of like the using when drones started getting the zoom feature and people started doing that Hitchcock shot.
Yeah, the dolly zoom.
Okay, yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
Yeah. I say use it once, leave it alone. And then walk
Or
away.
use it for a purpose.
Right. Like I say, use it for a purpose.
Yeah, the Hitchcock shot is an unsettling shot, and
yes,
just to use it for using it is unsettling. Why are you making it an unsettling shot?
Right.
We don't know.
And that's why I always tell people, I said, and I guess it goes along the same line, and you know this, Don, where no matter if my video is 30 seconds or is it 5 minutes, I'm trying to tell a story within that time. And I think a lot of people get wrapped up in just showing something. And I always tell people, tell me a story. I don't care if it's 30 seconds or 5 minutes. Tell me a story.
I watch videos so often, and one of my it used to be a pet peeve. Now I laugh at it. Is when I can tell that they extended their shots and used extra shots just because that's how long the music was.
Yeah.
Like, I need to fill up the music. No,
right. I was guilty
find a way
of that
to cut down your music.
I was guilty of that in the beginning. Very guilty. Because you get caught up to say, oh, I still got another 15, 20, 30 seconds of song left. I got to slow it down or do something or add another shot in. You know? Or that same thing where when we first get drones, we're so proud of ourselves that we're able to do a nice orbit that you think like the whole orbit is the greatest thing that everybody's ever seen.
When was the last time you saw a drone video that was showing some action and the drone was sitting perfectly still? You don't see it because you have the controls in your hand. You want to move that camera.
Right. And people don't understand, let the action happen in front of the camera.
And that's fine. You can chases doing these shots and moving the camera. I mean, that's the beauty of having the drone up there.
Yeah.
But the other beauty of having a drone is just the different perspective. And the drone doesn't always have to move. Sometimes you could roofing commercials. I see people do commercials for roofers all the time. And they are out orbiting the house while the workers are working on the roof, and they it's orbit, maybe a lift, something, and it's all out really far. It's like, did you think about like flying in right next to the peak, shooting down the peak, and just letting this camera sit there?
Yeah.
From a unique angle and just show the workers working still.
Right.
No,
coming back and forth out of the scene themselves.
Yeah. And that's when you start thinking like an editor instead of just a pilot.
Well, that's why I talk about creating. I don't care if you do it in your head or you write down a piece of paper, but having an idea of what shots you need to get to tell the story. And like you said, you could be up there in the bird's eye view looking straight down, and you know whatever is going to happen is going to happen coming into that frame and out of that frame. And you don't need to move the camera at all.
Nope.
And that's all that shot is for that purpose. And you cut to another shot, maybe to the right or left of that shot, showing a guy still moving in the direction it was from the previous shot.
Yep. And that's not to say that when you're up there, you don't see something that you want to grab, but you have a shot list that you have to get, and then you leave room for the magic, for those accidents to happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, sorry. I popped in and turned this into an editing.
No, that was part of my fault because you and I understand that.
But as far as the new Neo, fantastic toy drone. I compare it to what is the I've got one downstairs. My wife got it from years ago, and it was just a cheap little drone that I couldn't fly it more than 100 feet away without losing signal. And it was one that did little tricks and stuff, auto flips and stuff like that. And it had a camera on it. It was like a cell phone camera, choppy as hell. And you had no gimbal control. You had to just kind of angle it with your fingers and set it to go.
That's a question I'd ask. Joe, does this new Neo have a gimbal control?
No. Oh,
Yeah.
it does. Actually, does. It does.
So it tilts
Yeah.
up and down.
You can't get it to go up and down.
Okay.
You can set the rate on that.
Yep. So for the price point,
Well, that's my
man,
whole.
this is an awesome gift for a kid wanting to get into it.
That's what I said. My grandson will be 12 years old this December. Right, he gets birthdays his is on the 9th. My oldest daughter's on the 11th. So yeah, I'll either go get it for his birthday or I'll get it for him for Christmas. It'd be his first drone. I'd say first decent drone. I don't know if he's got one before, but you know, I can say DJI brand comes with certain expectations. So
Well, it does.
yeah, I know. It does. So that's why I plan on getting him one for
The
Christmas.
expectations of a visit from the Homeland Security. Yeah.
Because he just went to a robotics show, I guess Saturday. Because it's my second son brought the boys over after that, and I was just thinking, I said, yeah, I'll buy a Neo for him and stuff. Because I was thinking about giving him my old Spark. Anyway, I said this little Neo might be the intermediate between that and
Yeah, Drone Worship says that your edits don't have enough explosions in them.
that must be Dan.
Now,
yeah, I see him over there now.
Hi Don.
One of my favorite horrible edits I ever did. I edited this commercial and they wanted it to be more flashy.
Mm-hmm.
And by that they meant transitions.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided, you know what? I'm gonna give them star wipes. And I gave them star wipes through the entire thing. Then I went back in and I would cut full segments. I would just put a cut for no reason and put a star wipe in it. Just to add star wipes where they were unnecessary. So I had star wipes on top of star wipes and the client loved it. And I had to watch it on TV for the next 2 months.
Give the people what they want. Is that one of those jobs where you use a pseudonym for who the director was?
Well, I don't work there anymore, and these people are long out of business. I used to have an image of a dried kangaroo penis that I kept on my desktop because whenever I had to do a stupid ad that I hated, I would hide a dried kangaroo penis in there somewhere.
Oh,
oh dear.
That way, when I saw it on TV, at least I smiled.
And nobody else was to the wiser, huh?
Because I knew it was there.
Oh man.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Well, is everybody geared up for
invoice-
the big debate tonight?
No.
Is the debate tonight?
Yep.
Yes, tonight. Yeah, Dre, that invoice was for the National Night Out Against Crime with the Mandeville Police Department. I tell him, I'll do it for you for free every year. He says, we got money, send me an invoice. I'm not going to do it. He says, I'll give you $150. Just come out in a couple hours. I'll do it for free. Send me an invoice. So I sent him an invoice.
I mean, I understand why you want to do it for free, but like I say, on their end, it's a budget line item. They have to spend the money. So you can have them donate that money to whatever nonprofit or group that you want to donate it to, but the money has to be spent.
Yeah, I donated to me. So.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, my shipping labels
it pays for my gas.
Yeah.
I was gonna say $150 you're already donating to them.
Yeah.
For a couple hours.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm out there. I'm out there actually from 5 to about 8, about 3
Yeah.
hours.
Yeah.
Plus, I'm
And you're
doing all the
asking for-
editing. I'm giving them all the pictures. I'm putting the drone up the last 2 years and doing video of it, and I'm giving them a little bit of everything.
Yeah. Then taking $150 is still charity.
Yeah, it kind of.
Yeah, I understand that from a budgetary item, especially with dealing with municipalities, which police departments fall under, they have to account for the money that's been allocated to be spent.
They got to spend.
That was like last year. I went over and they had all the parole agents out there, and they had this one that, man, she was smoking, and the colonel from Junior OT standing right there, and I did it just for him. I walked over and I put my arm around her and I said, I'm gonna get in trouble, so she'll be my parole agent, like that. I said, I want you. You got to be my parole agent, like that. And she goes, well, I deal with sex offenders, so I wouldn't get in trouble. I went, oh, never mind. You know, like this. And I walked away. Colonel said, Staff Sergeant, just keep walking like that, right? So a little while later, I'm standing there doing the video. She comes walking. She's leaving. She comes walking next to me. She goes, I'll be your parole agent. And she runs her hand all the way around my back as she walks out. She goes, I'll see you next year. I said, whoa, hold on, man. Let me get this drone down. Hold on.
That's you.
Well, I hope she's out there again this year. I'm gonna say I tried to get in trouble, couldn't get in trouble. We're just gonna have to see each other another way.
Mudball?
Yep, I got monkeys in my house.
In school in yet?
Hey, don't let him talk to you like that. Sort him out.
I got monkeys in my house.
Little
thought they'd
monkeys
be
and
in
bigger
school by
monkeys.
now. They're not in school?
How old are they?
I don't think they've got a school to go to
3,
yet.
4.
They've just moved there.
Yeah, they just moved in with Donald.
Oh, okay. I thought they should be in school. Or grandpa should be doing some homeschooling.
We already sit in the floor today. We we read some books. We went over chess pieces and their names.
There you go.
They're not interested in setting the board up correctly yet, but
Well, you started with the hardest level game to really teach that age.
my son, when he was 3, could set the board up. Knew that white square always went on the right. He knew queen on her own color, and he knew how to set up all the pieces. And he was already playing pawns when he was 3. Which
Okay, well that's great. Well, I'm just trying to tell you, I would have started with backgammon first. It's a little.
I don't want them to rely on chance.
Well, like I say, you graduate because backgammon, it is a chance with the dice being rolled, but it is a strategy game of how to set your pieces up to get them around and block your opponent at the same time.
Yep.
And it is a strategy game where you work with chance. That is
Right.
correct.
So that's what I'm saying. So you use
But
that.
chess is a far more elegant game for a
That's
more
what I'm
elegant
saying.
time.
You get that to get to the more sophisticated game of chess.
Now you start with checkers
You got
and
to
then
bring
move
them
on.
along a little bit there, Don. You got to bring them along a little
You've got
bit.
to plan
You
for the
going right
future.
there.
No,
Going right
chess
there in
players.
the medieval game of kings and queens and stuff, and expecting to say, and they're like, "Where's the video game at?"
Yeah,
in that
that's what
case,
I was about to say. You've got to plan for the future. Get them on Fortnite.
And Mark, no, you don't start with checkers. Chess players retire to checkers.
3D chess then.
I've got 3D chess downstairs. I don't think we're ready for that yet.
I would say the only thing that'd be entertaining for chess for them, there was an old chess game that came out in I want to say late 80s or 90s. It was a animated chess game that was on the old DOS system.
Battle chess.
There you go, battle chess.
Yeah,
That would
I remember that.
That would capture their
That was
imagination.
brilliant.
Now when you're moving the pieces actually move.
Fight.
And they actually fight. Yeah. Battle chess was something that I would at kids these days, that would keep their attention. That would help them, because it has a little bit of things that they're used to engaging with.
I think it's better to
I know
have them
old
engage
school.
in actual physical pieces.
Yeah, I can say I'm just trying to help you along, dude. Because I say if I want to teach my grandkids, that I have to. In other words, you got to meet your audience to where they're at.
Have you started them on the times tables yet?
No.
Remember
Well,
the
that
old
Eastern shift
remember
is
the old
still happening.
flashcards they used to have? I don't
Wait.
even know if they still have them anymore, do they?
Mm-hmm.
Get them into Dungeons and Dragons.
Hey, Paul, we're still having that Eastern shift. The new advisory came out.
Yeah.
It looks like it's going right over Johnny now.
Wow.
That means it's 20 miles, the eye wall. I don't know how wide the eye wall is going to be, but the eye is going to center over him 20 miles away.
Hmm.
And I'm on the right quadrant. So guess what that means? We're going to get the brunt of the wind.
You're gonna get the hard stuff. Yep.
Yep. The good news is they're not expecting a lot of rain with the hurricane because of the shear. We're going to get it tonight and tomorrow before the hurricane hits.
Paul,
But they're showing wind speeds now up here. It was sitting around 60 miles an hour. Now it's sitting at about 85. So
Scottish-
85 miles an hour wind will knock my electricity out.
yeah. Don't worry, it's
But
just a
it'll
Scottish
flood your place, right?
Well, might not. Like I said, we're gonna get the rain tonight. And the rain and then the wind shear is gonna knock the rain out the back of the system. So we shouldn't have a lot of rain in the back of the system. But
Well, I've got
now
my
we're getting the
return label.
warnings.
And Paul,
It's
you
going to
haven't
make
got
things.
that Loctite 401 left.
What?
Storm surge warnings.
Yeah, that Loctite 401 glue. Have you got any left?
Somewhere.
Yeah, Joel needs it for his wig.
Well, we just got storm surge warnings, so that means they're saying the lakefront's going to get, it says 5 to 8 foot waves. So 3 foot puts it over the seawall. Now they're talking 8 foot, 5 to 8. So that means it's going to be 3 to 4 foot water out there on Lakeshore Drive. All the restaurants along that Lakeshore Drive that's on the bottom will be flooded out again. It happens every year. I'll get some good drone footage in the next couple of days.
Did Dre just bow out?
Yeah.
I think he got a call too. I think he was getting something.
Yeah, I'm waiting for a call any second. I've got a client. They were supposed to call me a few minutes ago, but we have a client that I've shot commercials for him for a couple of decades, and he is going out of business. So he needs a
Really?
going out of business ad.
What kind of business?
Like eyeglasses.
Oh, so what's the closing down sale advert?
Mhm.
Well, the problem is in optometrics is that all of these chains have pretty much gathered up everything.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Only
they're not worth a
online.
crap.
The days of independent are over.
Yep. Well, we have another independent here in town that is pretty big, but this is a guy in his show. You go back and he did the frame repair himself. He ground glass. He did everything. He's like an old school.
Yeah, but
Mm-hmm.
him doing that old school, he can't compete with the production unit of the bigger.
No, but
Yeah.
you could get same day. Whereas these other places, you have to wait.
Well, actually, over here, plus spec savers, you can still get same day. Now they actually produce them there and then. They tell you to come back in half an hour.
Yeah, we've got same day here too. The bigger chain, the eyeglass factory. They just
Like same day repair and stuff.
Yeah, literally, you walk in there, you go, my lens is broken. They go, you got your prescription, take your details, and they go, see you in half an hour. You come back and you're done. The
We got a
littlest
place
stores
like that
can't
here.
cope with that.
This doesn't make sense. We've been put under a tropical storm warning and it's been extended. Listen to this, extended until today at 6:30 p.m. Does that mean that after 6:30 we're going to be in a hurricane warning, or they're going to extend it again? It doesn't make sense because it's not supposed to hit till tomorrow. But the good news in all of this, Hannah Gard just came on from Channel 8, and she's in a little short black dress. I'm good for the rest. I'm good for the rest of the day.
We can always count on you, Joe.
Yeah. You got to
Yep,
tell her to
when
do
she
the
comes
new
on,
one.
Every
good.
single stream, you got to take it to Creepyville.
Yeah, and you got to tell her to go outside and do the weather report outside.
And we
Especially
can
if the
count on
wind-
David to take it one step further.
the
No,
wind-
Maddie's
the wind
doing that
whipping.
right now. But Maddie's in Barataria. She's too far away. If Maddie came up here to lakefront, I'm on my way. We'll go out there and say, let's do some drones together. Yeah, you handle the joystick.
I didn't wreck the other business, Russell.
Yeah, everything he touches, Russell, you're right. I wonder how Justin's getting on in his interview.
What
Where's he
interview?
interviewing at?
He's got a job interview,
Where at?
Really?
a bus company.
Hey, JD, you should have seen me 50 pounds ago.
He told us the other day on the stream.
I don't listen to every single
He's going
stream.
to, is it bus guard or something? You know, 4 hours in the morning, 4 hours in the evening.
Oh, he'll be
Being a bus driver or a monitor?
a monitor. Basically a monitor.
You could just see Justin. I'm America, and this is my boss.
I can see him turning around looking at the kids fighting in the back. Sit your asses down.
Oh,
Yeah.
his notifications are still silent.
You want to walk, you little shit?
Okay, I think I'm gonna break down today and buy that NAS system.
Oh, are you?
I got to.
You've been looking for a long time.
Yeah, I've got to because of the fact that I'm down to 3.5 terabytes. I'm going through a whole terabyte since football started. It's either that or go through
Sit here
and
looking.
just start deleting raw files.
If you don't
And
need
I
the
don't know
raw
what
I
file
files,
split a
I
banana
delete.
and still not finished it.
if you don't need the raw files, get rid.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I can
Monkeys.
go because I got a lot of raw
It's
files.
good
now.
food though for monkeys.
Well, how often do you go back and review your old files for any purpose of making money?
Well, all the sports files I'm not gonna fool with, but do I really need the raw files from 2016?
Probably not.
Actually, I don't have them from 2016. I started shooting raw in 2018.
Then I can guarantee you don't need the raw files from 2016 or 17.
Well, let me tell you what the difference is. A raw file won't deteriorate, a JPEG will. So I got JPEGs that from 2018 that can start deteriorating the more you copy them over. Whereas I have a raw file where if it starts looking bad, I can fix it again. So I just, if I just get more terabytes and I just keep them, it won't matter. If I get a 40 terabyte NAS system, I won't outlive it. I'm only at
Get
10
yourself a
terabytes.
couple of portable drives and you put all the raw files on them drives. And then when you need them, you just pull them off and done.
Yeah, that's a possibility. But then it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to do. I said it's a lot easier just to spend the money, get the 40 terabytes or 32 terabytes. I'm at 10 and do the NAS and just hit that one button and copy everything over. And then get the other one, plug it in and hit that one button, copy everything over. And if it says this file already exists, say skip it. Then whatever I missed is on there. And I know I got everything. Then I can clean the 14s off and say, bring it all back. You know, the 114, I got the backup copy right there. And I can go through that backup copy and to get rid of the raws. That way my backup copy will have plenty of room on it. Because I got two 14s, I could do the two. I could have two backup copies on the 14s off the NAS and have that nothing but JPEGs and stuff, no RAW files. Or just RAW files. Either one or the other. So I think I'm gonna wind up getting a NAS. I was thinking about just getting a 20 terabyte and just moving a 14 over to the 20. And then once I get that 20 done, because this one's the main one I've been working on. I know it's got everything on it. I get all that 14 onto the 20. That'll give me about 10 left on it. So it'll be double the size. Then I can go through.
Well, how much is the bigger terabytes?
Well, I'm looking at either about $800 or about $1,600. $1,600 will give me the NAS system with 32 terabytes, and I'll if I get the right system, I'm not going to outgrow it. So
it's for half price you can get the bigger terabytes.
No, for half price I get the 20 one drive, but that one drive dies on me. You know, somehow I lose it. If I go to NAS system, I'll have the drives working it. I'll have I'll have 30 terabytes working and one backing up. So it's like,
Well,
and then I'll have other backups. So I'm just I got to make a decision.
give you a call in 30 minutes, unless you need an hour. 30 minutes will be fine. And it has now been over an hour.
Yeah.
So he should have said, I'll call you in 30 minutes. No, I'll call you in an hour because I'll need an hour.
So for about 800 more, I won't have to worry about this in 3 years. You know what I mean? And they'll give me a NAS system that I'll have, and I'll have a lot of extra space on it.
Not really a sweet tea drinker.
You like more
Green tea's good.
like
Just regular tea. Yeah.
chocolate?
Not much in the flavored teas except for plantation mint.
Cherry blossom. Green tea with cherry blossoms.
Sakura.
Something.
I just got my electric bill, and it was $27 cheaper than last month. That's good. I know what that's from. My son's been out the house. We don't wash clothes as much, and we don't have the dishwasher as much. I say $27. Oh. I see now they got Nicandra Norwood on, so they're flip flopping. The meteorologist.
Yeah.
Where's Hannah? Where's Hannah? I'll be like the baby. I want Hannah. I want Hannah. What they're showing that thing. Yeah, Johnny was saying, well, it's not gonna be anything. Not gonna be anything. Going right over him now. That should be good this afternoon to be on, and it should be good tomorrow morning to be on. Don't know how long tomorrow morning. That's the thing we're gonna work. It's gonna be a daytime storm. That's a good news. I'd rather a daytime storm than a nighttime storm. Hate that. Yeah, that last one we got Ida a few years ago, 2 years ago. Like I said, we lost electricity finally about 10:30 at night. We lost it, came right back on. The grid came right back on. It stayed on for about 4 hours and went right off. And that was it. I knew the second time was it. And it started getting hot real quick. And because that was in August and we didn't have a cold front coming through. Right now, outside is 74 degrees. So this cold front's going to keep it cool. And that thing is going to pull more cold down. So it's not going to be in the 90s tomorrow. That's the good news. So, but it got so hot that I laid down on the floor, opened up the dog door because it got the breeze coming in. So I was laying down there sleeping on the floor with the dogs. And I heard this crackling sound like, and all of a sudden, boom, you heard this tree hit. The tree split in half outside and hit the floor. The dogs went jumping, running down the hall. And I looked out there with the flashlight, saw the tree all over the place. And then the next night we were out that whole day, and then that next night, and it got so hot in here, it was in the 90s inside, that I went and took a shower and wound up getting in the bathtub, just laying in the water. Got out and started sweating again, and I wet a t-shirt, and I went to sleep in that t-shirt where it was wet, and that kept me comfortable all night.
And somehow Joe brings it back to a wet t-shirt.
Yep, wet t-shirt.
Right, I'm gonna have to jump out early, guys. Unfortunately, DJI have now opened a service centre in the UK, which is good because it means it gets there quicker and gets back quicker. But it also means I don't have to print out all the customs labels and everything else that they used to have when we sent it to Holland. But the post office closes earlier than my UPS collections shop. Plus, it's about 4 times as far away. So,
if you've got a post office in Tesco's, it's open till 8.
No, we haven't got a post office in Tesco's. We've got a post office in our precinct.
What is wrong with your Tesco's? No post office, no salt and pepper bread. Shut the darn thing down.
Got a chemist.
Third world.
We've got a chemist, we've got an opticians, we've got a barbers, we've got key cutting service, we've got bakery, fish, everything.
None of that. It's not that. It's not a big one. It's big, but it's not one of the huge ones.
Hey, Joe, did you see in the chat Corey Mano?
But anyway, I've got to walk to the post office and post this thing off.
Right.
So I shall see you all later on.
Yeah, he said there was 4 of them by him.
Actually, you'll probably still be on when I get back.
Now there's only 3.
Where's he at?
He's over Toronto area.
Okay, now they're showing the shift. I'd rather that shift. See, that's something I thought it was going to do too. It's shifting, and it was going to go right over the top of us to give me the worst quadrant. But the track they're saying it looks like it's working. Now it looks like it's going to go under me, right across New Orleans, make a big turn.
Yeah.
So we'll still get a lot of stuff, but New Orleans is going to catch the whole thing. I hope it keeps shifting. Keep shifting. It's going to barely hit us. Wind up in Biloxi or something like that.
Paul, what you need to do once you've got that lined up, right, perfectly, how you have it, on the floor, put a bit of tape down where the wheel should go.
Well, here's what it does is it depends upon the sun because my windows face to the south. So as the sun moves, so do those shadows.
I'd complain to the sun and tell him to stop moving.
Need to put some non-glare stuff on the windows.
Yeah. Go on Amazon, $6 probably.
Then
You
I
get that
can't-
mirrored
then-
stuff.
Then I can't see out that good.
No. The mirrored stuff you can see out, but you
Well,
can't
you got
see
cameras outside.
in. I've got it on our windows. I can see out, but people can't see in. They put it on office blocks in town centres and stuff.
Mia just came in huffing and puffing. She's out laying in the sun again. Doggone it. So, Joe, you're just kind of hunkering down, are you?
Battening down.
Yeah, I'm just kind of sitting here procrastinating and watching.
Well, you got plenty of food in the house. You don't need anything.
Yeah, I'm good. I got memories in the back. I got water and everything. I'm good. I got food.
You know what's going on out in the supermarkets now around you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, lavatory roll.
You got plenty of jambalaya yet, don't you?
All right, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'm good.
I think it's
Yeah, my
pronounced
daughter-
jambalaya.
My daughter's freaking. She said, "You think we ought to go somewhere?" I said, "No, stay where you at. You know, shut up." Well, David thinks we need to go somewhere. Well, tell David to go somewhere. First off, y'all don't have money to go somewhere.
Yeah,
That was
go
gonna be
for it.
the next-
I don't want
that
to go
was next.
anywhere.
That was the next thing out of her. If you'd have said, "Yeah, go ahead," will we borrow some money?
I'm not lending any money. She'll be too much now. Stop. Stop or I'll put you outside in a hurricane. I'll put you out that dog door and close that door and that wind pick you up and you'll be flying like a witch. You should shut up, huh?
That's bad.
No, it's just they got all the television's gonna be on emergency all day now. But that lower Plaquemines Parish, which is south of New Orleans, and lower Jefferson Parish, south of New Orleans, anything outside the flood walls, they got mandatory evacuations. Telling everybody to get out. So it's going to be water coming up. They're saying around all outside the flood walls, 8 to 10 feet surge. So things are going to get wet.
Now, where do you have to take your car to?
Somewhere.
All I got to do is drive like 50 feet around my parking lot and move. Just to the, like I'm parked right here. I got to go right around to here. You know, it's nothing. I'm gonna go do it in a few minutes just to get it done before everybody parks over there. And then there's a chance I may not have to.
What the hell?
But I'm gonna move it just in case. I'll put it this way: if it gets flooded out, it's paid for, so I'll get a full amount for it.
We've just been issued with a weather warning. Up to 6 inches.
My problem is I don't know if I can get a new one for that price.
Oh, it's going to be one of them nights.
Why? Oh, why?
6 inches of rain in the next 4 hours and winds gusting up to 60 to 70 miles an hour.
Oh my! Lucky you.
Maybe we've moved the night. We're actually closer to Joel than he thinks.
Joe, Laura's going to come and live with you, Joe.
We're going to blow her in. God, that was an overreaction, Joe. You're still muted.
I'm leaving. What? Stop barking. I'm gonna tase you. That's it.
Don't worry, Joe. Rio's got the screwdriver for you.
Yeah, make sure I got a flashlight going.
Yeah, we don't need no flashlight. We're used to these winds.
Yeah, I'll make sure I put a flashlight with me, and then I got one in the back. It'll sit there. That way, if I'm in the back and we lose power, I could grab it and come get this one.
How comes hurricane winds running like 80 mile an hour?
64.
64.
Yeah, 64 is when hurricane winds again.
What's the max winds in a hurricane?
I think we've had them to over 200.
Yeah, we get in the winter months, we get like 150 to 170.
Yeah. But we've had Hurricane Katrina. When Hurricane Katrina hit, they clocked them over 200. Now that's wicked. That's all I'm telling you. When I was in Japan, Okinawa, when Hurricane Eva hit, Super Typhoon Fran hit. That sucker winds were, I think, 195, 198. And I was on top of the roof tied to a pole taking pictures in 170. And that was tough to even be tied to the pole. But I said, I got up there and was able to tie myself on before I got up all the way. So I was able to slide up the pole. It was tied right to me. I was close to it. And that wind was trying to blow me off the roof. Well, I got the pictures I wanted, and then I slid back down and realized how stupid I was.
So whereabouts are you on this map, Joe? I'm guessing you're down near New Orleans, aren't you?
Yeah, where's New Orleans?
There.
I'm north of New Orleans. If you go up about a little bit to the left,
These are the bit of it to the left.
right there. That's about where I'm at right there.
Yeah, you're currently 23 degrees.
23 Celsius. I don't know what, let me tell you what mine is. Let me see, I don't even know. I'm 24 Celsius right now.
Yeah, it's annoying it's taking the wind off this.
Yeah, I shouldn't have any winds right now because it's still way down in the Gulf. I'm looking at my tree. My trees aren't even moving.
Oh, it's round here, is it?
No, it's back over. You see where the little point of Texas is? Down on the bottom to the left. Left. No, keep going.
There.
Follow that line around. Right about there. Now come out a little bit out in the Gulf. And it's right about there. Up a little bit higher. About right there is where it's at right now.
This ain't picking it up. 7.1 kilometers.
There you go. Yeah, it's gonna be somewhere up in there. It's further up. It's supposed to be a little bit further up. Yeah, that's too far down. See, it's somewhere up, somewhere to the right of that. But it ain't much from what it's showing.
There's the UK on the diving.
What's that, surface winds?
Apparently, yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be because, like I said, I'm looking at my trees outside, and that means the leaves aren't even moving. This is the calm before the storm. The only time you get worried, and this is something my mom taught me years. I was like 8 years old, and she had been through 15 to 16 of these things. And she said, "Let me teach you something about a hurricane. When you got a hurricane coming, go sit outside and watch the sky. If it starts getting a greenish yellow tint, it's gonna be a pain in the ass."
Yeah, I don't know what
If
they've
you
done
get
to the website. It used to be really good.
Yeah, and that's what she said. If you start getting a greenish yellow tint, it's going to be intense. And I've seen them out here where the sky's been perfect, but it's just getting grayish. All of a sudden, you start seeing that little tint change, and man, that sucker was a bear.
Yeah, this one might be better.
An 8-foot storm surge would be in a lakefront. Well,
yeah,
man, I'm on the
it is.
second floor, Frank. I'm good.
Yeah, I'm guessing
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, that's it. And if you look in Louisiana, you see that little hole that's in Louisiana? That's Lake Pontchartrain up here. Right here. That's Lake Pontchartrain up there. They got a little hole right there, but I'm keep going over to the right. Keep
To the
going a
right.
little more. Down. A little bit to the left. That's Lake Pontchartrain.
There.
I'm right above that, right about where you at. If you go straight up, I'm right above that.
So about here.
Too high. Too high. Go down. Go down. Now go a little bit to the right. Down a little bit. Now go a little to the left. I'm right there. That's probably where I'm at. Exactly.
Well, that's where it is at the moment.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's far away from us. What site is that?
This is called it's some test thing. It's Earth something. I'll send you the link in the chat.
Yeah, send me. I don't see that like that. Pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh, it's pretty cool. This only does wind. This one. So I'll zoom out. You can see all the little ones here.
Yeah.
That red is supposed to be the weather we're about to get.
Yeah.
When you get red, it's supposed to be severe.
Yep. See, this thing is showing. Let me see where this is at. It is showing the Gulf of Mexico right now down at Grand Isle on TV, and they're getting 3 to 4 foot waves right now. So it's already pumping, even though it's that far away. The coast of Louisiana is getting hammered around.
Do we see what's happening in Dominic's land? Nah, it's all calm over there. That looks a meanie.
Yeah, I'm so far away from the coast though. I'm about 3 hours from the coast, 2.5, 3 hours from the coast. Well, the Gulf of Mexico. If I go down, if I'm at least an hour and a half from the Gulf of Mexico and Mississippi. If I go down to Louisiana Gulf of Mexico coast, it takes me about 3 hours to get there. 2.5, 3 hours. That's the closest would be Grand Isle. If I go down to Shell Beach area, Hopedale, that's Lake Bourne right off the Gulf. That still take me a couple hours.
There you go. It's put it in the private chat.
Oh, okay.
On Zoom. And for anyone on YouTube, YouTube says no. There you go.
State of Michigan reporting downbound and Salt Dock. Upbound for the Christie, Walter G. McCarthy Jr., 1230. There's a check down request for the dredge.
That's pretty cool.
Russell Island Shoal Light, Bravo 33.
Ah.
Rogers, night traffic.
Let me have to put that in my.
But that thing, if
other
you look
bookmark.
just below the equator, you'll see the hurricanes build up to the left of you, and then they sort of swirl in.
Yeah.
So a train driver saw somebody on the gantry trying to cut down the power cables to a train line. Fuck's sake. Yeah. He slammed on, and the bar thing that goes up to get the electricity from the cables has wrapped around the cable, pulled the cable down, saving the guy that was on the gantry, and wrapped the train in the cable. So everybody on the train can't get off until they cut the power. Just goes to show the damage you can do with some stupidity. It puzzles me as well. When they cut these cables down, where did he take them? Because you can't walk into a normal scrap merchant and say, I've got all this copper for you, or whatever it's made out of. They're likely to just turn around and say, we know where you got that from. Oh, that's a point. England play tonight, so no one can get to the game now because the trains are screwed.
Because of the trains?
Yeah, it's only down the road from us as well.
Man, we got high tide tomorrow at 1:42 in the afternoon, about the time the hurricane's going to hit us.
Oh, that's the worst, isn't it? When you get high tide.
Yeah, so we're going to have 3 to 5 foot high tide, and the hurricane's going to hit us the same way. And the way it's coming in is pushing the water towards Mandeville. So that means that's why they're expecting 8 to 10. So it's pushing everything from Lake Pontchartrain in New Orleans, that 690 square mile lake, pushing all that water to the North Shore. So what that means is that it's going to go over that lakefront tomorrow, and it's going to be terrible out there. That's why tomorrow, when the rain ends, if I can get down there close, I'll be able to put the drone up. As long as it's under 40-mile-an-hour winds, I'll get the drone up and get pictures of the lakefront. That'd be cool. The only problem I found in the past is when you start dealing with a lot of that, you got to pay attention to the street you're on, because you don't know when you're going to run over nails, everything else.
What the hell's a neap tide? Deep red is a moderate tide. All right. So a neap tide is when the sun and the moon align with each other, cancelling each other out, so the tides are not as high. And a spring tide is a seriously high tide.
Hey, this just popped up on my computer. I'm going to share it.
Don't buy it.
No.
No.
DJI drones to be banned in the United States. The
Oh,
House
we
of
thought you were on about the TV box.
The House of Representatives has voted to ban the use of the new DJI drones in the United States. The U.S. Senate will need approval for the bill, but once passed, users will not be able to fly their new drones in this country, as it effectively prohibits them from operating on the communications infrastructure.
That's the new drones.
The ban
But-
will not impact DJI drones already released in the United States, just new models.
So the Neo won't be affected because that's
Yeah,
Well,
the
it
Neo
has to-
should
it
not
has
be
to be-
affected because it's already been approved. So same thing with the Air 3S and the Mavic 4 has already been approved, basically.
yep, anti-China week, as they're calling it over here.
Yep.
You guys call it China week, we call it anti-China week.
Yeah. It's the stupidest thing they're doing.
Yeah, of all the other issues we have in the world, and they're worried about drones. Holy shit.
Yeah. Yep.
Just makes
The
you
drones
wonder.
we have are still good, you know?
Yep. That makes
Yeah,
you
but
want
what
to
about-
stock up on and get more drones, you know?
Yeah. The problem is though, what about the software when they update the software? Is that going to be valid?
It should be, because it's an active drone. It's already got the communication.
Yeah, but that's the point. They're on about the
Yeah, but that's
capability
what
of
he's talking
spying.
about is future updates.
Yeah.
The future
A
updates should
drone at-
still be legal.
Yeah, but a drone at the moment, it's pretty much a drone, and they're on about spying. It's older software that you can manipulate, yeah, to do spying. Yeah, newer stuff has more security features and stuff like that. Yeah, so they're shooting themselves in the foot, basically.
I think it's all up in the air.
Yeah. And the question
It's
is,
not
how,
through the Senate yet, though.
yeah, but how's China going to respond? Because you know they will. They'll put imports on tariffs on other stuff, and then you'll all get hit with higher prices. And
Yeah.
Biden won't remember what he's fucking signed.
Well, Biden ain't even running the country right now. And if you look at the way he walks right now, when he's walking to like Air Force One to ask him questions, sometimes he'll stop. But when he stops, and this is something that's been proven. They've shown pictures of him standing next to Jill, and there's sometimes he's not that tall, much taller than Jill, and then sometimes he's like a whole foot taller than Jill. And it's not that what she's wearing is not he's putting on extra things. It looks like there's two people.
You got to look
Like they've got like a mask on, like a silicone mask. Because
Yeah.
even the ears are a little bit longer than one of them.
Yeah, stunt double.
With the way they're showing it. And when he walks, you can see when he's walking and he's not answering anybody, he's got that little slow shuffle.
Yeah.
Not like he usually does when he stops and answers. So which one's real? You know what I mean? It could be the other guy can't do the voice, or they'll tell by the voice, so they tell him just to shuffle like you're not paying attention.
Yeah.
Because it looks more like a fake shuffle than the way he walks. Well, I wouldn't doubt that they've got, because they showed a mask that they could, and he's always got glasses on when this happens. And the only place you can't hide it is around the eyes.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, this will all be over in a couple of months. And
that's not all be over with tonight. What you talking about?
I don't know. Once the
If
election,
he does it all depends on Trump tonight. If Trump does not attack her, does not attack her like personally, attacks her policy, he's got her. Because he'll get under her skin, and she might try to attack him back to try to get under his skin, and it make her look bad. But if he could get her to go into word sounds where she can't answer shit, they're gonna freak out.
Whether he listens to
all the polls are saying that it's a real close race, but there's a poll that comes out that they're talking about the electoral college polls, and they're saying Trump has 62%. So we'll find out.
The problem with polls is they're never as accurate as they want them to be.
Oh, I know. You can tell anybody what you want to tell them.
Yep. And the way the world's going, with everybody going, it's all a conspiracy in that. They're not going to tell if somebody rang you and said, "Who are you going to vote for?" You'd be like,
"Yeah,
I can fucking telling you, I'm voting Biden, yeah, or Harris." You're not going to tell you're going to vote Trump just to piss them off.
Yeah,
because you don't know what they're doing.
You see, tomorrow at 7 a.m., that sucker's still about 200 miles off the coast. So we're going to be getting winds. It doesn't even get to us till tomorrow at 3:30 in the afternoon. So it's going to be 3:30 in the afternoon when it starts hitting us tomorrow. And I mean, that model's got it coming right over New Orleans. Come on, let it go a little bit further. I want to see, because if it goes that way, we're going to get the west side. But we ain't getting much of the west side. We're getting almost, yeah, we'll get the Iowa west side. A little better. And come on, now they're showing the wind field. Oh, well, I hate when they do that. It showed the wind field stopped. Show it going through. Because right now it's showing tomorrow morning we're getting 25-mile-an-hour winds. Oh, Hannah back on. There you go, baby. I could watch this all day if Hannah's on. There's a little bitty blonde girl, and she got a hot black dress on. Yep. Yeah, we're not gonna know more till tonight. We'll know 10 o'clock tonight. We'll really know what's gonna happen. Well, Paul, I think I'm gonna jump off and go get something to eat,
Okay, I might as well shut her down then, huh?
Yeah.
and then I'm gonna watch this a little bit. I'm gonna make sure I got everything around here done. I got,
Okay.
like I said, I moved the car. I know I got everything done. You know, it's just
Well,
I
I'm gonna
got
go
little
find.
miscellaneous to do.
Yeah, now Paul's not going to be live all night. I think I'll go and find something else to do.
Okay.
Yeah, make sure my guns are loaded and everything else. You know.
Thanks, guys. Okay. We'll see you again maybe later today.
Yeah, catch you all
Yeah,
later.
as long as I got electricity, I'll be back.